After 3 years of marriage, the rape case involving Fu Linzhou's mentor's daughter went viral online, sparking public outrage, all to preserve her family's scholarly reputation. Fu Linzhou hijacked my social media account to clarify, claiming I was the actual victim, and that Linlin had kept silent all this time to protect me. Facing my accusations, Fu Linzhou dismissed them casually. Linlin is my mentor's daughter. Their family comes from scholarly nobility, we can't tarnish their reputation. Besides, you've already been raped before, I'll make up for your suffering with love. In my past life, I fell for his honeyed words, only to end up being raped and murdered on a live stream for the entire internet to see. This time around, I slammed the divorce papers on the table. 1. Sweetheart, don't fall asleep, I'll carry you to the bath. My eyes flew open to see Fu Linzhou's sharply defined jawline. The searing pain from being stabbed and the dizziness from blood loss in my past life had vanished. Staring at the calendar on the nightstand, I suddenly realized I'd been reborn, returned to the moment before Fu Linzhou used my social media to proclaim I was the rape victim. At this moment, Fu Linzhou cradled me with utmost care, as if I were the rarest treasure in the world. I knew his rare tenderness and advances today were just to lower my guard. 5 minutes later, he would personally push me into hell. That's when he'd seize the moment during my shower to post from my social account, MS, Zhao Linlin is not the victim of the Cherry Park assault case, I am. I deeply regret that these past days have subjected the innocent MS, Zhao to suspicion and even doxing. While she protected me by never denying being the victim, I cowardly hid behind her. I'm truly sorry. The moment this message went out, my life would spiral into irreversible tragedy. Just as Fu Linzhou was about to place me in the bathtub and leave, I hooked my arms around his neck. Gazing straight into his eyes, Fu Linzhou, do you truly love me? If I didn't love you, why would I have married you? Fu Linzhou ruffled my hair, his pupils held only me, that tender gaze like a spider's web. In my past life, it was this very look that fooled me into complete devotion, until the day I died in that previous life. I truly believed he loved me. Fine, you can leave now. I want to enjoy a proper bath. Fu Linzhou exited the bathroom without hesitation, staring at the closed door. I let out a cold chuckle. Fu Linzhou, don't you dare disappoint me. 2. A minute later, I stepped out of the shower wrapped in a towel. Fu Linzhou wasn't in the bedroom, and my phone that I'd left on the nightstand had disappeared too. I opened the safe in my bedroom, took out the documents, and went to the living room. The living room was dark. The glow from a phone screen illuminating Fu Linzhou's face as he frowned slightly with intense concentration. With a click, I flipped on the living room lights. Fu Linzhou looked up warily, a flicker of panic flashing in his eyes. I walked over and snatched the phone right out of his hand. My phone. The screen still displayed my social media page with a half-written post. MS, Zhao Linlin is not the victim of the Cherry Park assault case. I am. I deeply regret that these past few days have subjected the innocent MS, Zhao to suspicion and even doxing. I stared at the screen and suddenly burst out laughing. Fu Linzhou opened his mouth but remained silent. I lowered my head, finished composing the message, then held my phone up for him to see. Is this what you wanted to say? He looked at the message, then at me with surprise and hesitation, as if he couldn't understand my attitude, nor how I'd guessed his unspoken words. Every word of that passage used to cut into me like 1,000 knives. Fu Linzhou regained his composure and said patiently, Linlin's different from you. My mentor is a university professor. She comes from an educated family, surrounded by cultured friends and relatives. The cyberbullying has already given her depression. If this continues, she'll die. What about me? Fu Linzhou rubbed his temples impatiently. You survived being raped before, didn't you? You got through it. I deleted this unsent message right in front of him. Fu Linzhou's face darkened. Be reasonable. I don't care whether you were violated or not, but society will judge Linlin. Consider this saving her life. I know this is unfair to you, and I'll make it up to you with more love. I desperately wanted to confront him. Zhao Linlin would have to face society's judgment, and I wouldn't. But suddenly, it all felt pointless. I placed the documents retrieved from the safe before Fu Linzhou. Sign these. The sight of the documents cracked Fu Linzhou's composed expression. 3. This document is a divorce agreement. This was the security I provided for Fu Linzhou when we got married. Fu Linzhou was an orphan raised by his scavenger grandmother, a poor boy whom my parents later sponsored. Handsome yet rigid, he maintained an aloof demeanor with everyone, except me, as if he bore some special responsibility toward me. He enjoyed lecturing me like a teacher, tutoring me every weekend. I fell for him during those tender years of first love. For years afterward, I kept striving to follow in his footsteps. Eventually we drifted into a relationship, but I never truly felt his love or care. Before we married, I even humbly prepared divorce papers. promising to let him go if he ever found his true love. In the beginning, our marriage was relatively happy, until 3 years ago. When his mentor's daughter Zhao Linlin returned, his heart completely shifted toward Linlin. And I've been waiting all along for him to take the divorce papers out of the safe. In our past life, he never mentioned divorce, never retrieved those papers from the safe, so I foolishly believed there might still be love in his heart for me. 4. You want a divorce? Fu Linzhou's voice trembled, his pupils shaking with shock. Just because I wanted to save Zhao Linlin, you'd divorce me? This time his voice steadied, but his eyes burned with stubborn confusion. I lowered my gaze. Don't you want to save Zhao Linlin? Just sign the divorce papers, and once the proceedings are finalized, I'll hold a press conference. Fu Linzhou's voice turned icy. Are you threatening me? When I remained silent, he spoke through gritted teeth. Don't think using divorce as leverage will make me yield. I've already found the least damaging solution. Why won't you just cooperate? I exhaled slowly, steadying myself. After the clarification, my tarnished reputation could harm your company. Divorce is the cleanest way out. Fu Linzhou visibly relaxed, though his tone still carried a hint of uncertainty. You really mean that? I nodded. Sign it. Seeing my calm expression, Fu Linzhou picked up the divorce papers and studied them for a while. You're leaving with nothing. Let me have the lawyer redraft. No need, just sign it. I want nothing from you. I said with forced patience. In this second chance at life, all I wanted was to sever all ties with Fu Linzhou completely. Don't be childish. I know I've wronged you this time. Name your price and it's yours. Just sign the papers. Seeing my resolve, Fu Linzhou finally relented and signed the divorce agreement. After signing, Fu Linzhou felt an inexplicable emptiness in his heart. He wanted to stay with Lin Yao a little longer, but she only left him with a resolute figure walking away. Lin Yao loved him deeply and would never leave him lightly. This divorce talk was just a passing mood of hers. As long as he comforted her properly afterward, they'd go back to loving each other like before. 5. The next day, Fu Linzhou and I went through the formalities at the Civil Affairs Bureau. Since both parties wanted the divorce, we didn't have to wait through the cooling-off period. After the divorce was finalized, I immediately felt a weight lift off my shoulders, but right outside the door, I saw Zhao Linlin waiting there, dressed lightly for the weather. Just as I predicted, Fu Linzhou hastily took off his coat and draped it over her. You've just recovered from a cold. You shouldn't be here. This weather will be too much for you. Zhao Linlin pulled the coat tighter around herself. Yao Yao has sacrificed so much for me. The least I can do is thank her properly. Fu Linzhou ruffled Zhao Linlin's hair. You're always so considerate. It's only natural she'd do these things for you. I rolled my eyes discreetly. My duty. Damn right it's my duty. In my past life, seeing this scene would have made me start a fight with Fu Linzhou immediately, but now I just want to walk away quickly, not letting them ruin my mood. Yet Zhao Linlin came sashaying toward me, clearly intent on stopping me. Probably can't wait to show off in front of me. Out of my way, mutt. I shoved her aside. I couldn't stand sharing the same air with that shameless pair for another second. Yao Yao. Zhao Linlin pouted, tears welling up instantly. I'm truly sorry for putting you through this, making you divorce Linzhou for my sake. I'll make sure he compensates you properly. Fu Linzhou shoved me aside. Lin Yao, how can you be so petty? Linlin is sick, she's fragile. Not like you. If you're angry, take it out on me. I wasn't about to take this insult lying down. I slapped Fu Linzhou across the face. Fu Linzhou looked completely stunned, staring at me in disbelief. You bitch, how dare you hit Linzhou? Zhao Linlin, however, lost her temper and came at me like a wild animal. She didn't act like a patient at all. Just as well. I wasn't about to indulge her tantrums. I rolled up my sleeves and lunged at her, and soon we were grappling violently. Zhao Linlin held in pain as I yanked her hair. Fu Linzhou quickly pulled me away, glaring at me with pure venom. Stop acting like a rabid dog biting everyone. I know you're bitter about the divorce, but once this blows over, we'll remarry, Linzhou. It hurts so much. Please check it for me. Fu Linzhou rushed to tend to Zhao Linlin without even glancing my way. I touched my bruised lip, took a deep breath, straightened my clothes, and walked away. Though injured, I felt much better after venting my anger. Following the same path as my past life, I gathered evidence proving Zhao Linlin staged her own rape before calling a press conference. Both Fu Linzhou and Zhao Linlin showed up at the event that day. I'm sure you're all wondering whether Zhao Linlin was actually raped. I can prove she wasn't. The moment I finished speaking, I could clearly see Fu Linzhou visibly relax with relief. He glanced at his phone, said a few words to Zhao Linlin, then hurried off. Zhao Linlin then walked shakily to the stage under her bodyguard's protection and took a seat beside me. Miss Lin, if Ms. Zhao wasn't raped, then who was? Who's the person in those photos? Care to tell us who that really is? Facing the reporter's aggressive questioning, I shot a glance at Zhao Linlin. She was just sitting there, waiting for me to confess with that smug look. How ridiculous. No one was raped. Okay, the woman in the photo is indeed Ms. Zhao Linlin, and the other person is her long-term boyfriend. There's nothing unusual about consensual intimacy between adults. Please stop blowing this out of proportion. Zhao Linlin suddenly stood up and pointed at me. That's a damn lie. That's not me in the photo. Don't believe a word she says. Here's the evidence. I think everyone will find this quite interesting. With that, I revealed the photos of Zhao Linlin's dates with the male escort. The escort was quite famous at the club, so he was recognized immediately. So she's dating a gigolo. No wonder she's been so wild. Looks like we're just pawns in your little game. Damn, you two should just get a room already. What a waste of public resources. The crowd erupted in playful teasing directed at Zhao Linlin. In my past life, I only learned the truth when Zhao Linlin gloated about it to me on my deathbed. The alleged rape was nothing but a staged drama she orchestrated to sabotage my relationship with Fu Linzhou. The male model wasn't a rapist, he was her long-term boyfriend. To gain Fu Linzhou's sympathy, she not only framed the model as a rapist but had him imprisoned, after learning the truth. I tried to contact the model to expose what really happened, but the male model was killed in prison, and I couldn't find any evidence, ultimately dying with injustice. Fortunately, it's not too late to set things right. Zhao Linlin watched as the situation spiraled out of control and frantically made a phone call. She was quickly taken away by Fu Linzhou's bodyguards. You were married to Mr. Fu for 3 years. Yet he consistently protected Ms. Zhao Linlin. How do you feel about that? We're already divorced. Whatever he does now has nothing to do with me. I raised my hand slightly. The ring finger had long been bare. After the press conference, I departed for Haicheng. Back then, I left my home in Haicheng without hesitation to follow Fu Linzhou and start anew in the capital. It was here that he met Zhao Linlin's family. Her father gave Fu Linzhou an opportunity that instantly elevated him to the capital's elite. For these past 3 years, Fu Linzhou has never forgotten the debt he owes to Zhao Linlin's father for recognizing his potential. Whenever Zhao Linlin needed his help, he'd drop everything to assist her without delay. At first, he'd forget our anniversary because of Zhao Linlin. Then it got worse. He actually wanted me to relive my rape trauma for her sake. I curse my blindness for entrusting my life to such scum. Now, no one gets to hurt me ever again. 6. Fu Linzhou called me, probably wanting to apologize after seeing the live stream. I answered the call only to be immediately met with his torrent of accusations. Lin Yao, how could you act so recklessly? By making the evidence public, you've ruined Linlin's life. Her family values reputation above all else. What you've done is no different from killing her. I was wrong about you. Where are you? I'm coming to get you. We need to apologize to Linlin immediately. She's threatening suicide right now. How can you be so unreasonable? I know you've been wrong this time, but Linlin only resorted to this because she was being threatened. Just apologize properly, and we'll forgive you. Fu Linzhou grew increasingly agitated, but I'd lost all patience for his nonsense. After hanging up, I blocked all his contact information. Peace at last. Fu Linzhou remains as despicable as ever. I won't indulge his nonsense. The moment I arrived in Haicheng, my family had already arranged for someone to pick me up. Yao Ya's back, and she's lost weight. It's all your fault, old man, for letting her go alone. Just thinking about the hardships our daughter faced out there breaks my heart. Mom's eyes welled up with concern as she held my hand, checking me over for any signs of distress. Even my usually stern father showed a hint of tenderness. Now that you're home, that's what matters. No more tears. It's bad luck, you old fool. Mom, Dad, I'm not going anywhere after this trip back. I just want to spend quality time with you both. My parents exchanged relieved smiles, both deliberately avoiding any mention of Fu Linzhou to spare my feelings, and I refused to let that scumbag Fu Linzhou ruin our family's happiness any longer. His mentor recognized his talent. That's the only kindness he acknowledges. So our family's financial support that enabled his success doesn't count as kindness, yet he never stops praising his mentor's recognition, completely forgetting our family's support. A textbook ingrate. Just mentioning him leaves a bad taste in my mouth. After returning home, I began taking over the family business. My father introduced me to various important business partners, and everything went smoothly. Rumor has it that a VIP from the capital is coming to Haicheng to expand his ventures. Securing a partnership with him would guarantee our company's prosperous future. That influential figure is Gu Chen, one of the capital's most prominent tycoons who owns countless enterprises, a true blue-blooded aristocrat, born with a silver spoon and a sharp mind. Every investment he sets his sights on turns to gold. In my past life, I only occasionally heard Fu Linzhou mention Gu Chen. Gu Chen was someone even Fu Yanchuan couldn't hope to rub elbows with. I've come fully prepared for this collaboration with Gu Chen, and I'm determined to make it a success. Knowing Gu Chen would attend the banquet hosted by Haicheng organizers that day, I arrived early to wait. Spotting Gu Chen's arrival, I immediately approached and greeted him. Mr. Gu, how do you do? Gu Chen paused mid-step, a flicker of surprise crossing his face before raising a finger to his lips in a hushed gesture. I nodded knowingly and motioned for him to continue the conversation on the balcony. Tell me, how do you know me? I don't recall ever meeting you. Gu Chen frowned, clearly straining his memory to place me. Do you remember the rape case from 10 years ago? I was the victim, I stated bluntly. A brief look of shock crossed Gu Chen's face before he composed himself. So it's you. I'm truly sorry for what happened. I'm glad to see you're doing well now. Thank you. I just wanted to say that today. Thank you for personally putting that monster behind bars. I bowed deeply, conveying my utmost gratitude. In my past life, Fu Linzhou offended a powerful figure who, in retaliation, kidnapped and raped me, the one who shadowed Fu's every day. Afterwards, they delivered me back to Fu Linzhou. Fu Linzhou tearfully promised to take responsibility. Yet I resented his weakness, his inability to avenge me. Watching the villains roam free while justice failed weighed heavily on me, plunging me into severe depression. From that day on, Fu Linzhou, who used to barely acknowledge me, stayed by my side constantly, attending to my every need with meticulous care. Day after day, he'd whisper I love you to my pallid face. Fu Linzhou would move heaven and earth to fulfill my slightest wish. When Fu Linzhou knelt to propose, I hesitated, afraid he only wanted to marry me out of guilt. Yet I still remember the determination in his eyes when he confessed his love. Yao Yao, my love for you transcends all constraints. I simply wish to cherish you. Please give me this chance. His honeyed words enchanted me. Mustering courage, I accepted, only to pay with my life. How ridiculous it seems now. Those grand vows of eternal love meant nothing in the end, yet Gu Chen, a complete stranger, chose to sacrifice himself to personally deliver that scoundrel to justice when he learned the villain remained at large. In my past life, I'd always wanted to thank him after hearing this, but never got the chance. Now the opportunity is here. I'll make sure he knows my gratitude. It was the least I could do. Seeing you doing well makes everything I did worthwhile. Gu Chen's tender words brought tears to my eyes instantly. Even a stranger could show me such kindness. Yet Fu Linzhou kept feeding me empty promises, never delivering on a single one until my dying day. I only have myself to blame for being blind enough to waste my life on that scumbag. After I shared my ideas with Gu Chen, he immediately recognized the investment potential in my project and verbally agreed to collaborate on the spot. With insights from my past life experience, I have an uncanny ability to predict market trends with precision, yet every time I propose an idea, Gu Chen always manages to grasp my train of thought almost instantly. I can't help but admire his exceptional business acumen. His current standing is entirely earned through his own capabilities. What's on your mind? You seem lost in thought. I looked up to see Gu Chen across the table, already placing the sliced steak before me. His warm smile never faltered, his manners impeccable and conversation effortless. For a heartbeat I froze. Then my pulse raced wildly as a sudden heat rushed to my cheeks. Thank you. I stammered my thanks and immediately averted my gaze. I can't believe I've developed feelings for Gu Chen, but honestly, falling for someone as remarkable as him was only natural. But remembering my troubled past, I could only bury these budding feelings deep in my heart. Someone as extraordinary as him is beyond my wildest dreams. Just being by his side fills me with contentment. 7. Lin Yao. Do you have any idea how long I've been searching for you? And here you are sneaking around with some random man. You never change, do you? Throwing yourself at any man you see. Do you really enjoy being the town's laughing stock? Lin's been persuading me to reach out to you all this time. I finally gathered the courage to forgive you. And this is what I find. Having a romantic candlelit dinner with another man. You've completely let me down. Come home with us right now. I'm willing to let bygones be bygones and start fresh, but you must promise me you'll never meet another man behind my back again. Before I could fully process Fu Linzhou's words, he was already stepping forward to grab my arm. My body instinctively recoiled from Fu Linzhou's touch as I took several steps back. Stay away, we're done. Take one more step and I'm calling the police. Fu Linzhou clearly didn't expect such a strong reaction. He froze momentarily. He exhaled slowly, his expression softening. I know I wronged you before. You don't need to apologize to Lin anymore. I've already done it for you. She's forgiven you. Come home with me, please. Fu Linzhou restrained his impatience, adopting a gentler tone to coax me. In the past, I'd forgive him in a heartbeat if he showed even the slightest improvement in attitude, but now, the mere sight of him makes me sick. I've done nothing wrong and don't need you apologizing on my behalf. If you keep harassing me, I'll have you arrested. This is Haiching. And I've got the connections to make it happen. Unless you want to trend on social media tomorrow, I suggest you get lost right now. Fu Lingzhou's face flushed crimson with rage. How dare you threaten me, Lin Yao? Aren't you afraid I'll never forgive you? His hysterical outburst only struck me as laughable. If you've got nothing important to say, then leave. Don't interrupt my meal. After speaking, I ignored Fu Lingzhou completely and shot Guchen an apologetic glance. Guchen smiled in understanding. Whether our exchange provoked Fu Lingzhou or not, he suddenly lunged at Guchen like a cornered animal, ready to throw a punch. You bastard, she's mine. How dare you flirt with her right in front of me? I'll teach you a lesson you won't forget. Let's see if you'll ever mess with another man's woman again. Guchen sidestepped Fu Lingzhou's attack with ease, then pinned him down with a swift countermove. Fu Lingzhou kept struggling and hurling insults. I found his behavior utterly pathetic. Fu Lingzhou, stop making a fool of yourself. Can't you see you're acting like a rabid dog? Fu Lingzhou's face darkened as he struggled to speak. Lin Yao, how dare you think I'm an embarrassment? When you'd been passed around like some worn-out whore, I still took you in. I married you despite the shame, gave you dignity beyond measure, made those who mocked you green with envy. What right does a used-up slut like you have to laugh at me? 8. His vile words drained the color from my face. I strode forward and slapped him hard, once, twice, again. Fu Lingzhou, how dare you? Get out. Never let me see your face again. Fu Lingzhou was visibly stunned by my blow, his mouth opening and closing wordlessly. I turned and walked away. Even after being reborn into this life, the rape remains an unresolved knot in my heart, though I try not to dwell on it. The memory lingers within me, like a gaping wound that won't heal. The slightest movement makes fresh blood gush forth uncontrollably. What right does Fu Lingzhou have to judge me? Wasn't my suffering entirely his doing? To think he'd compare me to a worn-out pair of shoes in his mind. No wonder he could hurt me so mercilessly every time. So deep down, he always believed I was unworthy of his kindness. All these years of marriage, he's been forcing himself to fake concern for me every single day. What a chore that must have been. I was wandering aimlessly when suddenly a coat draped over my shoulders. Turning around, I saw Guchen had caught up. I immediately lowered my head. Guchen simply adjusted the coat for me. The wind's picking up. Don't catch cold. I nodded, overwhelmed with mixed emotions, unsure how to face Guchen. Just thinking about my sordid past made me feel like my mere presence with someone like Guchen was a profanity to him. Yao Yao, may I call you that? Guchen asked politely. I nodded again, still unable to lift my head, at a loss for words to ease the awkwardness. Guchen seemed to reach out and pat my head. Don't dwell on his words. None of that was your fault. You don't have to live in the past. Move forward. There's so much ahead worth discovering, and you deserve all the beautiful things this world has to offer. I'm not good with words, but in my eyes, you're wonderful and resilient. I truly admire you. Guchen's firm words gave me courage. Slowly, I lifted my gaze to meet his earnest expression. I managed a faint smile. Thank you, Guchen. No need to thank me. If you ever need anything, just come to me anytime. I'll protect you. Nobody will ever bully you. Guchen's expression remained as solemn as before. The promise sounded unexpectedly sweet coming from his lips. Why are you so nice to me? I don't deserve this kindness. You'll make me misunderstand. My voice trailed off, and for a fleeting moment, I even thought Guchen might have feelings for me. I was startled by my own thoughts. There's no way Guchen could like me. I don't know why, but whenever I see you, I just want to be good to you. When I see you being bullied, I want to protect you. Does that bother you? If it makes you uncomfortable, I'll try to hold back, Guchen said honestly, without backing down an inch. Please don't avoid me. I just want to be your friend and spend more time with you. Hearing the pleading tone in Guchen's voice, I finally nodded. Yes, I'd like to be your friend too. Guchen. It wasn't just my imagination. Guchen clearly had special feelings for me, but I couldn't reciprocate yet. There were unresolved issues in my heart, and rushing into a relationship would only lead to trouble down the road, though my hesitation wasn't because I feared Guchen would betray me like Fu Lingzhou did. I believe Guchen and Fu Lingzhou are two completely different people. It just doesn't feel right to start something new with Guchen when I've got so much baggage unresolved. It wouldn't be fair to him. 9. When I got home, I received an apology text from an unknown number. Yao Yao, I spoke out of anger today. Those words didn't come from my heart. Please forgive me. You know how much I love you. No one in this world could love you more than I do. Once I've settled matters in Beijing, I'll come to Haicheng to be with you. If you love staying in Haicheng, I'll stay there with you. No more wandering. Just wait for me. I love you deeply, Yao Yao. After reading the texts, I promptly deleted and blocked him. Full service ghosting, classic Fu Linzhou, hitting someone then offering candy, just like his usual manipulative playbook. Back then, he was determined to move to the capital for better career opportunities without hesitation, even knowing all my loved ones were in Haicheng. He had no reservations. Once decided on Beijing, nothing could stop him. My whole world revolved around him back then. Wherever he went, I'd follow without question. I left everything behind to build a new life with Fu Linzhou in that unfamiliar city, starting from scratch to create our home. In the beginning, Fu Linzhou constantly faced setbacks in his business ventures. He was always dealing with difficult clients, and whenever he encountered trouble, he'd bring me along to help resolve it. I accompanied him to countless drinking sessions, even developing stomach ulcers from overdrinking just to secure his business deals. It wasn't until his career took off that I gradually stepped back from the front line. Back then, Fu Linzhou promised me that once the company got back on its feet, he'd make me the happiest woman in the world. I kept waiting, only to hear news of him splurging on Zhao Linlin. Just because Zhao Linlin wanted a graduate advisor position, Fu Linzhou immediately invested in the university, became a board member, and secured the spot for her. From then on, he brought Zhao Linlin to every high-profile event, claiming it was his duty to introduce her to influential figures as repayment for her father's mentorship. Seeing them always together made me uncomfortable, but I kept biting my tongue. What Fu Linzhou and I have built didn't come easy. I wasn't about to let outsiders ruin it with pointless arguments, but my constant concessions only emboldened Fu Linzhou, making his behavior increasingly outrageous. When Zhao Linlin got reported for plagiarism, Fu Linzhou was the first to defend her, swearing she'd never copy and threatening consequences for anyone spreading malicious rumors behind her back. But at the same time, photos surfaced showing me accompanying Fu Linzhou to business meetings and social events. I was labeled a social butterfly on trending lists, so I asked Fu Linzhou to handle the PR crisis. He just said coldly, "Your reputation's already ruined, a little more damage won't matter. No point wasting resources on trivial matters. No matter what others say about you, you're the only one I love. Listen, in this world, my love is all you need." I was such a fool back then to believe Fu Linzhou's high-sounding excuses. Now Fu Linzhou's sweet talk turns my stomach like rotten garbage. Since he's hellbent on delivering himself to death's door, I won't hold back. 10. The collaboration with Guchen is progressing smoothly, and the buzz around this partnership has attracted more investments to the company. This scenario is a win-win for all of us, and we're thoroughly enjoying it. When things go too smoothly, it makes certain people restless. Soon enough, I was trending on social media again. The scandalous moment when Beijing's former socialite hooked up with Shanghai's nouveau riche. These are photos of me dining with various people, the same old dirty tricks at play. I immediately had someone track down the photo leaker, and just as I suspected, it was Zhao Linlin's doing. After gathering sufficient evidence, I filed a lawsuit against Zhao Linlin. Guchen anxiously sought me out. "I've already had the PR team handle everything. This won't affect you in any way. From now on, I'll have people closely monitor public opinion. You won't have to bear these baseless accusations again. This will never happen again. Don't be afraid, I'll protect you properly." Listening to Guchen's promises, my heart was already completely overwhelmed with emotion. I couldn't help but want to hug Guchen, and my body honestly followed through with the embrace. "Thank you, Guchen. So this is what it feels like to be cherished. I love this feeling so much. I'll never forget this for the rest of my life." Guchen tapped my head lightly. "Silly girl, this is just the beginning. Why are you so easily moved? If you're this sentimental, I'll have to stay on high alert. What if someone treats you slightly better and you just up and leave with them? But I won't give anyone that chance. I'll treat you so well you'll forget others exist," Guchen murmured rhetorically. I nodded. "Right now, you're the only goodness I see." We fell into a tight embrace, where only the sound of our synchronized heartbeats remained. Each thunderous pulse whispered the depths of our unspoken feelings. On the day of the court hearing, Guchen and I appeared together. Standing beside Zhao Linlin was Fu Linzhou. Fu Linzhou's eyes instantly reddened when he saw Guchen holding my hand. He angrily tried to approach, but got entangled with Zhao Linlin's tearful pleas. "Brother Zhou, please don't leave. I'm terrified. I didn't do anything wrong, yet Yao Yao is taking me to court. I'm so scared. Right now, you're the only person I can truly rely on. I'm not like Yao Yao, who always has men lining up for her." Fu Linzhou wiped Zhao Linlin's tears and said, "You're nothing like her. You're pure. Don't ever follow her example. Once this is over, I'll make sure she apologizes to you. Now stop crying. You're turning into a little tear-stained kitten. The cameras won't like puffy eyes." Zhou Ji, Zhao Linlin playfully thumped Fu Lingzhou's chest. This is a courtroom and I'm the defendant. How can you joke at a time like this? I'm scared out of my wits. Don't be afraid, with me here, no one can hurt you. Fu Lingzhou deliberately raised his voice. It felt like a challenge, but I refused to even glance his way. After all, their days are numbered, Your Honor, members of the jury. I stand before you today to defend my reputation and dignity, Ms. Zhao Linlin has hired internet trolls to spread malicious. After presenting my statement and demands, I submitted the evidence. When it was Zhao Linlin's turn, she remained silent, only weeping incessantly about being wrongfully accused. 11. Fu Lingzhou was the first to lose patience. He comforted Zhao Linlin, who was sobbing uncontrollably. Then he glared at me viciously. Lin Yao, have you no heart? Linlin's crying her eyes out, yet you still insist on suing her, if anything happens to her. Your miserable life wouldn't be enough to pay for it. I never thought you'd stoop this low. Drop the lawsuit now and apologize to Linlin, and I might pretend today never happened. Otherwise, don't expect my forgiveness, ever. God knows where Fu Lingzhou gets his delusions, always thinking I'd come crawling back to him on my knees. He probably still thinks I'm madly in love with him and can't live without him. After all, I've been quite tolerant with him over the past few years. It's understandable he'd have such delusions. I'm ignoring him in court. Evidence speaks louder than tears. After hearing Zhao Linlin's litany of specious arguments, the judge finally ruled in my favor. Zhao Linlin was also detained for 7 days. I'm not entirely satisfied with this outcome, considering Zhao Linlin has wronged me multiple times, but no rush, I'll pay her back in due time. After Zhao Linlin was detained, Fu Lingzhou didn't waste a single moment, bombarding me with messages demanding I sign a letter of forgiveness to secure her release. Perhaps realizing I was ignoring him, I returned home to find Fu Lingzhou already seated in my living room. Though he groveled with exaggerated humility, my parents refused to give him even a hint of warmth, yet Fu Lingzhou kept that plastered smile on his face, clearly determined to humble himself to the bitter end. He's really going all out for Zhao Linlin. But why drag my parents into this just because he wants to save Zhao Linlin? I flew into a rage. What are you doing here? You're not welcome. Fu Lingzhou noticed my return but pretended not to hear me. Yao Yao's back. He reached for the coat in my hands, but I dodged his attempt. I came all this way to cook your favorite plain congee. Can you forgive me? I know I was wrong. Fu Lingzhou awkwardly withdrew his hand and went to the kitchen to serve the congee. Here, it's cooled down now. You always loved my congee. See if it still tastes the same. Fu Lingzhou presented it to me like a treasured offering, his face brimming with anticipation. I never liked plain congee to begin with. Now that I despise you, everything you touch turns my stomach. I pushed the congee away. If you want to save Zhao Linlin, find another way. Don't waste your time here. I'll never forgive her. Fu Lingzhou's expression darkened instantly. After all my efforts to appease you, you're still ungrateful. If you hadn't dragged Linlin to court, she wouldn't be arrested, and my mentor's family wouldn't be tarnished by scandal. Lin Yao, you used to have my back and everything, but now you're getting on my nerves at every turn. I work myself to the bone every day just to get to Haicheng sooner to be with you, and all you do is make things harder for me. Can't you see how much I'm sacrificing? Fu Lingzhou grew angrier with every word until, with a loud crash, he hurled the bowl of congee to the floor, the very picture of wounded pride. 12. I watched his tantrum with icy detachment. Stop making a scene. The sight of you makes me sick. Fu Lingzhou clearly didn't expect me to be so heartless, a wounded expression flashing across his face. His face instantly morphed into a pitiful look as he gazed at me. I didn't mean to. I just wanted us to go back to how we were. Please forgive me, Yao Yao. Suppressing my inner contempt, I knew if I kept arguing with him, he'd just keep pestering me endlessly. Spit it out. What do you want? I cut straight to the point, seeing my expression soften. Fu Lingzhou's face lit up with joy. I knew you had feelings for me. I came to offer a letter of forgiveness to save Linlin. You know she's my mentor's daughter. Their family values reputation above all. If any scandal taints Linlin, it would ruin my mentor's entire legacy. Fu Lingzhou paused, as if carefully choosing his words. I don't want to owe Linlin anything. You know how I despise being indebted. It becomes an endless cycle of obligation. Such imbalanced relationships suffocate me. Watching his troubled expression, I couldn't help but feel a bitter irony. So you want me to repay the favor you owe? Do you really think that's fair to me? Why must you be so harsh? Between us, there should be no such distinctions. If you truly love me, you should give me everything, just as I would for you. Fu Lingzhou, you're utterly shameless. Today, you've sunk to a new low. Just because I love you, does that mean I should endure all the pain that comes with it? You must have a serious wiring issue in your brain to come up with such a ridiculous excuse. What's more, I've told you repeatedly that I don't love you anymore and asked you to stop harassing me, but you never listen. I'm done reasoning with you, if you keep bothering me. I'll call the police immediately. As for Zhao Linlin, find someone else if you want to save her. I'll never forgive that woman in this lifetime, so don't even think about getting any sympathy from me. After my long-winded speech, I let out a deep sigh. Yao Yao, don't say things in anger. If you don't love me, then I'll never find anyone who does. Fu Linzhou is absolutely ridiculous. To think he still believes I can't live without him at this point, utterly unreasonable. The angrier I got, the more excited Fu Linzhou became, which only irritated me further. My father finally lost his patience. Fu Linzhou, my daughter already detests you this much. Stop provoking her. I was civil to you before because she still cared for you, but if you persist in this delusion, don't blame me for being ruthless. Hearing my father's harsh words, Fu Linzhou looked stunned. Dad, Yao Yao and I have fought before, but you always mediated. Now that I'm begging for her forgiveness, not only do you refuse to help, but you're trying to tear us apart. What kind of twisted motive is this? You're utterly shameless. My mother pointed at him furiously. Our family gave you too much respect before, making you forget your place. When my daughter's been wronged, should I side with her or an ungrateful wretch like you? 13. Fu Linzhou paled, his brows furrowing. Yao Yao, is that how you see me too? How could you think that of me? After everything we've been through together, no one understands you better than I do. You'll stay by my side for the rest of your life. Before I could respond, Fu Linzhou began his self-deluded monologue. I was utterly speechless. With someone like Fu Linzhou who refuses to listen to reason, any further words would be wasted breath. The door's right there. Leave now or I'm calling the police, I said coldly, my patience wearing thin. Only then did Fu Linzhou seem to notice my unusual mood. Yao Yao, are you angry with me? I let out a cold laugh, shot him a look reserved for idiots, and immediately dialed the police on my phone. Fu Linzhou's expression darkened instantly as he lunged for my phone, but I dodged his grasp. Off balance from the failed grab, his head slammed into the corner of the table. Blood, I'm bleeding. Yao Yao, Fu Linzhou is putting on a pitiful act to gain my sympathy. Back in the day, even the tiniest scratch on him would break my heart, and I'd immediately grab the first aid kit to patch him up. Now it just makes me sick. Only when the police call connected did Fu Linzhou finally drop his performance. I'm leaving. Don't think I'll let the Linlin matter rest, you'll see. I watched him leave with a stony face. Fu Linzhou, that man who values his pride above all else, turns into a complete coward when push comes to shove. Seeing this situation, my parents began blaming each other while regretting ever supporting Fu Linzhou financially. What an ungrateful wretch. I gradually calmed them down, though I couldn't shake the worry that Fu Linzhou might do something reckless. I've been swamped with company affairs every day since then, and the surveillance on Fu Linzhou hasn't turned up anything noteworthy. Only then could I fully immerse myself in my work. In my past life, I became a clinging vine dependent on Fu Linzhou for survival. His love was like an elixir of life to me, utterly priceless. He probably knew I had no other purpose in life but to stay by his side, which is why he kept crossing the line to hurt me. But now I've built my own career, and every day feels different. I've also met a boyfriend who truly adores and respects me. All of this is such rare happiness for me, and I cherish it more each day. Guchen wanted to make our relationship public, saying he wanted to give me a strong sense of security, but I declined. I know Guchen loves me deeply and would never hurt me. When it comes to feeling secure, he's already given me more than enough. Though we don't flaunt our relationship on social media, all his close friends and family know about me. This is completely different from Fu Linzhou, who only knows how to put on a show. In the end, Fu Linzhou begged countless people before finally managing to get Zhao Linlin released. The moment Zhao Linlin got out, she came straight for me, only to be stopped by my people. Even after all that, she wouldn't let it go, staking out my place daily. Only now do I realize Zhao Linlin's practically a psychopath, but I'm not scared at all. I've hired enough bodyguards to keep me safe. If Zhao dares make a move, I'll have her thrown back behind bars in no time. Yet when Fu Linzhou saw Zhao's meltdown, he couldn't sit still, even got a new number just to harass me. I just answered the call, but hung up immediately upon hearing his voice. Moments later, his text message came through. Lin Yao, you've really crossed the line this time. Can't you just pay some attention to Linlin? She's been threatening suicide daily, and the teachers are turning gray with stress. I won't let you off so easily this time. Just you wait. 14. The message's contents made me snort with derision. I can't figure out what I've ever done to make Fu Linzhou think he still has the right to strut around in front of me. Rubbing my aching head, I sank into deep thought. What's on your mind? You seem miles away. I made pear soup for you. Have some to nourish yourself. you've lost weight recently. When I came to my senses, Gu Chen had already ladled the soup and placed it before me, nothing special. I took a sip of the soup, the subtle sweetness with rich pear aroma was just to my taste. This is delicious, I couldn't help but take several more sips, it really hit the spot, easy now, there's plenty more, don't choke. After I finished drinking, Gu Chen ladled another bowl and placed it before me, my eyes remained fixed on him, brimming with unconcealed adoration. He's not just principled, but also incredibly considerate. He respects my career and takes care of me in every way. I'm falling for you more and more. Gu Chen, the sudden confession made Gu Chen blush instantly. The usually composed CEO actually responded with an uncharacteristically shy smile. His reaction was utterly adorable. Unable to resist, I leaned in and stood on tiptoe to peck his thin lips. In a swift reversal of roles, he cupped my head and kissed me deeply. Only when we were both breathless did he reluctantly pull away, gently smoothing my tousled hair. His flushed eyes betrayed restrained desire. If you want. I'm ready, nestled in Gu Chen's arms. I listened to his pounding heartbeat and whispered softly. Gu Chen held me tightly, burying his face in the crook of my neck for a deep breath before gradually releasing me. He tapped my nose lightly and said, "It's not the right time yet, I haven't properly prepared." My heart sank to the pit of my stomach when I heard Gu Chen say he needed more time. Is Gu Chen bothered by my past? Does he need time to process this? This possibility made me sink even deeper into gloom. Regret coiled around my chest like a venomous serpent, choking the breath from me. After what felt like an eternity, I finally gathered the courage to ask, Do you mind my past? My voice faded, but tears streamed uncontrollably down my cheeks. What happened in the past wasn't my fault. In fact, I was the victim. But these things truly and undeniably happened to me. I deeply regret not being able to give Gu Chen the best version of myself. The thought of these things creating distance between us breaks my heart. I love Gu Chen deeply, but if this truly bothers him, I'd willingly let go of our relationship, though it would pain me greatly. I couldn't bear to force him into anything. Someone as exceptional as him could easily find a partner 1,000 times better than me. At least that person was decent. Gu Chen saw my tears and tenderly wiped them away. He probably understood my concerns too. After a long pause, he pulled me into a tight embrace and said, Yao Yao, it's not your past I love, it's who you are now. What I meant by getting ready was to prepare thoroughly for our first time, so we could both have a beautiful memory of it. I'm truly sorry if my words weren't clear enough and made you doubt yourself. He leaned down and kissed away my tears. I love you, the person you are. The past doesn't matter, as long as you're the one in my future. 15. Hearing Gu Chen's heartfelt confession, my mood couldn't help but lift. I never doubted whether his words were true or false. When it comes to Gu Chen, I choose to believe him unconditionally. He had no reason to lie to me anyway. As long as he truly wants to be with me, I'll match his sincerity with equal devotion. Gu Chen, thank you for coming into my life, for walking beside me through the years ahead. Meeting you in this lifetime is the greatest fortune. I'll love you wholeheartedly. Being loved by you is my greatest fortune. And I promise to cherish you just as deeply. Ms. Lin Yao. Gu Chen gazed at me with the poise of a true gentleman, his profound affection evident yet never overstepping boundaries. Every gesture of his made our hearts flutter uncontrollably. I must be falling head over heels in love. Before we knew it, our lips met again in an irresistible kiss. Click. Suddenly, I heard the sound of a camera shutter. Opening my eyes, I saw Zhao Linlin pointing her phone at me. She even waved her phone triumphantly. Lin Yao, you shameless woman, daring to keep a lover behind Zhou's back right in the office. Do you think he'll still adore you like before when he sees this photo? Once he sees those pictures, he won't be thinking about you anymore. He'll be with me then, and we'll get married. I fell in love with him the moment I saw him. If you hadn't met him first, he would have fallen for me too. After all, even though you two were married, every time I needed something, he'd help me without hesitation, even if it meant dropping everything with you. If you hadn't usurped my place, Zhou and I wouldn't be struggling like this. Just wait, Zhou will dump you eventually. Listening to Zhao Linlin's incoherent ramblings, I could only conclude she'd lost her mind to be this utterly self-destructive. First of all, Fu Linzhou and I are already divorced. Now he's nothing more to me than an ex-husband. As for Zhao Linlin's claim that Fu Linzhou still cares about me, I've lost all interest in verifying it. It simply isn't worth my time. I had no desire to keep engaging with Zhao Linlin, but seeing an opportunity to use her, I finally spoke up. If you love Fu Linzhou so much, why don't you just marry him already? What's taking him so long to propose? Zhao Linlin's face flushed with alternating shades of pale and crimson under my sarcastic remarks. After a long pause, she finally snapped, if it weren't for you, this shameless temptress seducing brother Zhou, we'd be married by now. He even bought me a custom-designed ring, put so much thought into it, he designed it himself as a symbol of his undying love for me. Go ahead, be jealous. She couldn't resist flaunting the ring on her finger, seeing that ring still stung a little. It was a design I created specifically for Fu Linzhou and me, two snow-white doves cradling a golden diamond, symbolizing pure and flawless love. After finalizing the design, I kept asking Fu Linzhou to have it custom-made. He always agreed verbally but never lifted a finger. I genuinely thought the ring would remain just a sketch, never materializing into reality. Little did I know Fu Linzhou had already commissioned the design and given it to Zhao Linlin. Now every time I recall him professing his love to me, it just makes me sick to my stomach. Fu Linzhou truly embodies hypocrisy and shamelessness to the fullest. 16. Seeing my silence, Zhao Linlin assumed she'd hit a nerve, so she uttered a few harsh words and left. A short while later, I opened my phone and saw the trending topic. The socialite reaches new heights, office play. Below that were photos of Gu Chen and me. The pictures had been doctored, only my face remained. Everything else was replaced with nudity, so explicit it would need to be censored to be posted. I calmly turned off my phone. It seemed Zhao Linlin hadn't learned her lesson from her last stint. Developing a habit of spreading rumors online at the drop of a hat really isn't a good idea. After all, you might just end up back inside. Should I have someone take care of this? Gu Chen asked me with concern, clearly displeased by the news, yet he still patiently sought my opinion, just like when Zhao Linlin insulted me earlier. Though furious, he restrained himself and waited for my instructions. Every little detail about him makes my heart skip a beat. No need, this time I won't let her off so easily like last time. If she refuses to learn her lesson, another round won't make any difference. I tugged at Gu Chen's hand. I prepared a much bigger surprise for her. All we need to do now is wait patiently, let the bullet fly for a while. The outcome will come eventually. Alright, as you wish. Gu Chen chuckled adoringly, showing not a trace of doubt in my words. Gu Chen was walking me home when we saw bodyguards surrounding Fu Linzhou the moment we reached the entrance. Let go of me. Do you even know who I am? I'm Lin Yao's husband. When she sees you treating me like this, she'll make you pay. Ah, that hurts. Stop hitting me, you bastards. It hurts, it hurts. No matter how Fu Linzhou screamed and cursed, the bodyguards kept pummeling him relentlessly. That's because I'd specifically ordered them to show no mercy if they ever saw Fu Linzhou again. The bodyguards followed my instructions to the letter. They deserve recognition. Yao Yao, how dare he still claim to be your husband? This is outrageous. I want to punch him myself. Gu Chen spoke through gritted teeth beside me. I kissed Gu Chen's lips reassuringly. I've completely cut ties with him. Trust me, you're the only one I love now. The corners of Gu Chen's mouth lifted. Of course I believe you. In the past, you'd have rushed to Fu Linzhou's defense if you saw him getting beaten. But your indifference now proves you feel nothing for him anymore. Have we met before? I instinctively countered, mentally scrambling to recall any past encounters with Gu Chen, but I never managed to find anything substantial about Gu Chen, only catching glimpses of him in financial news or TV interviews. Of course I've seen you. I noticed you long before you ever noticed me, but I'd rather not say just yet. I want to keep it as a surprise for the right moment. Watching Gu Chen play his mysterious act, curiosity burned within me, yet I didn't press him to continue. I know it's time. If he wants to talk, he'll spill everything. The realization that Gu Chen had known me for so long stirred a quiet anticipation in my chest. 17. Gu Chen and I talked in the car for ages before finally stepping out, only to find Fu Linzhou barely conscious after the bodyguard's beating. He was sprawled pathetically on the ground, begging for mercy between gasps. The sight was so cringe-worthy I could barely look at it. When Fu Linzhou opened his eyes and saw me, he was struggling to get up from the ground. Yao, you're back. Tell me the man in that photo wasn't real. It's all fake. The moment Fu Linzhou was about to touch me, Gu Chen shielded me behind him. I'm afraid you'll be disappointed. I'm very real. Yao and I are dating now, so stay the hell away from her. Piss me off. And I'll make sure you never survive in this city. Fu Linzhou's eyes widened in shock at Gu Chen's face. Impossible. CEO Gu, how could you be with Yao? Don't you know she was raped? How can you stomach that? Only I can accept her imperfections. Shut your filthy mouth, or I'll shut it permanently. Gu Chen yanked Fu Linzhou by the collar and landed several brutal punches. Scum like you doesn't deserve her. Stay the fuck away from us, or you'll regret ever crossing me. Beaten into a dazed stupor, Fu Linzhou still kept muttering about how I wasn't good enough for Gu Chen. Maybe he thought constant belittlement would make Gu Chen give up on me. Fu Linzhou, you're nothing but a despicable coward in my eyes now. What makes you think I'd stay with trash like you? Is it your daily put-downs? or how you always treated me as second choice. I was never your priority. Admit it, you think I'm tainted and unworthy of you now, don't you? No. Yao Yao, you know that's not what I meant. Fu Linzhou shook his head urgently and moved to grab my hand. I recoiled in disgust. Whatever your motives are for constantly reappearing in my life, I made it clear long ago that we're done. If you keep harassing me, getting beaten up will be the least of your worries. Pain flashed in Fu Linzhou's eyes. Why do you always say things I can't understand? Yao Yao, let's go back to how we were. We'll remarry today. Don't leave me. You promised we'd reconcile once the Linda situation was resolved. You can't break your word now. I never agreed to reconcile with you. I have no feelings for you whatsoever. Just thinking about you makes me sick. I took several steps back, my head pounding from his self-delusional nonsense, but Fu Linzhou wasn't ready to let it go. As he moved to persuade me again, Guchen gave a quick signal. Bodyguards promptly dragged Fu away. Has he always been this smug and impossible to reason with? He's out of his mind. 18. I've had people monitoring the online chatter, but didn't intervene. It wasn't until someone told me about Zhao Linlin and Fu Linzhou's press conference that I paid attention to the matter. When I tuned into the live stream, I saw Fu Linzhou pushing a wheelchair carrying a pale Zhao Linlin with disheveled hair. You could tell at a glance she was having a miserable life. Seeing Zhao Linlin in such a state, the viewers in the live chat expressed their sympathy. As expected, the victim is always the most pitiful one, while the perpetrator is still flirting with that scumbag. Couldn't agree more. If I ever see that woman, I'll bash her head in. She's absolutely shameless. Who'd actually want someone like her? Aren't they worried about catching something? She's got that perfect mix of innocence and seduction in her face. Bet she'd be wild in bed. Dude, you don't need to be this desperate. Your health comes first. 11:11. I calmly watched the torrent of online vitriol as Fu Linzhou tenderly draped a cloak over Zhao Linlin's shoulders in the footage. All previous accusations against our Linlin were slanderous fabrications by Ms. Lin Yao. After she was raped years ago, I magnanimously married her despite our history and shielded her from gossip. Yet instead of gratitude, she deliberately framed my mentor's daughter Zhao Linlin. Everyone knows I treat Linlin like my own sister. Seeing how cruelly Lin Yao has tormented her breaks my heart. I'm willing to provide evidence regarding Lin Yao's rape. My intention isn't to harm her, but to reveal the truth and show everyone her true character. Finally, I hope everyone will stop discussing Linlin. She's already on the verge of a mental breakdown. Any further distress would be unbearable for her. Thank you all. I watched in horror as Fu Linzhou actually produced the torn clothes from my rape. The images assaulted my vision as traumatic memories flooded my mind like a tidal wave. I completely lost the ability to think, my body trembling uncontrollably as my sanity slowly crumbled. Let go of me. When Guchen arrived, he saw me huddled tightly in the corner. My hands clasped over my head. The live broadcast was still ongoing, with Fu Linzhou and Zhao Linlin colluding, playing good cop, bad cop, and dumping all the blame on me. Don't look, don't listen. None of this is real. None of this is real. A strange fear welled up inside me. Terrified that Guchen would leave me because of it, memories from the past assaulted me indiscriminately, leaving me feeling incredibly vulnerable. Guchen quickly shut down his computer and came over to hold me tightly. It's okay, it's all over now. All of it. Don't be afraid. I'll always be right here with you. He gently smoothed my hair, then scooped me up in his arms like a princess, whispering comforting words with undivided attention. His tender care twisted my heart with guilt, waves of remorse washing over me. I loathe Fu Linzhou and his ilk. How dare they rip open my wounds in public just to satisfy their selfish whims? They will pay for this. Mark my words, be strong, don't let them defeat you. I slowly tried to cheer myself up internally, but my mood remained very low. Once you get past that mental hurdle, many things gradually stop bothering you. Don't overthink it. You're doing great already. Let me handle the rest. Okay, you don't have to force yourself. You can always lean on me, Guchen said, as if sensing my struggle. His words stirred waves of emotion in my heart, until tears finally spilled over and dampened his shoulder. 19. Following Guchen's advice, I stepped back from the matter and gradually worked on calming my emotions. These days, I spend my time gardening and playing with the dogs at the villa, living in quiet contentment, but deep down, I still felt this suffocating resentment that I just couldn't shake off. Guchen had already helped me suppress the online rumors and cut off funding to Fu Linzhou's company, pushing him to the brink of bankruptcy. As for Zhao Linlin, it wouldn't take much digging to unearth countless scandals about her. I wouldn't even need to lift a finger. Her own past actions would be enough to ruin her reputation. Just as I was feeling down, Fu Linzhou appeared before me again, This time, however, Fu Linzhou looked utterly disheveled and haggard. His eyes held an indescribable regret as he looked at me. Could he possibly be here to beg me to have Gu Chen let him off the hook? I didn't even want to spare him a glance. But he stubbornly blocked my path. Lin Yao. Do you honestly believe someone as exceptional as Gu Chen could ever truly accept you? Stop dreaming. Even if he could accept you, what about his powerful family? For a prestigious family like theirs, reputation is everything. Who would ever want a soiled woman? I advise you to come to your senses soon. If you come back and beg me now, I might still forgive you. Otherwise, when you're eventually cast aside, don't expect me to lift a finger for you. Hearing Fu Linzhou's words, my anger flared. I stormed over, yanking his hair violently before slapping his face repeatedly with full force. Soon, vivid handprints emerged on Fu Linzhou's face, yet my rage remained unquenched. Seeing me pause, Fu Linzhou suddenly knelt before me. Yao Yao, keep hitting me. Only your blows can ease my guilt. I was possessed by demons when I chose to hurt you that way. I regret it with every fiber of my being. Hit me some more. Maybe after beating me senseless you'll forgive me. I'm a complete bastard. I deserve to die. Fu Linzhou grew increasingly agitated, slapping himself repeatedly with rising intensity. The pathetic sight of him now only filled me with contempt. I watched his meltdown with cold detachment. Nothing but seething hatred remained in my heart. No, and I feel sick. Fu Linzhou, I've never found you as disgusting as you are right now. If you have any conscience left, get out of my sight immediately. After spitting out those harsh words, I pointed to the door and told Fu Linzhou to get lost. Fu Linzhou seemed even more pained after hearing me. Yao Yao, I had no choice. My heart will always have a place for you. Ugh, disgusting. I spat at Fu Linzhou. What little manners I had left couldn't tolerate Fu Linzhou's antics any longer. Just then, Zhao Linlin appeared out of nowhere. Witnessing me spitting at Fu Linzhou, you bitch, how dare you bully brother Zhou? You'll pay for this. With that, she lunged at me like a rabid dog. Caught off guard, Zhao Linlin slammed into me with such force that I lost my balance and crashed into the wall. My head throbbed worse by the second. What's wrong with security today? They keep letting these suspicious characters get near me. If someone hits me, I'm hitting back. No way I'm swallowing that anger. In no time, I rolled up my sleeves and got into a scuffle with Zhao Linlin. Thanks to Gu Chen taking me to self-defense classes earlier, I was in much better shape than Zhao Linlin. It quickly turned into me beating Zhao Linlin one-sidedly. Cowering on the ground with her hands over her head, Zhao Linlin screamed, Brother Zhou, save me, Lin Yao's trying to kill me, she's a complete lunatic. After hearing what she said, I hit even harder, and soon Zhao Linlin's face was a swollen mess. I was so focused on beating Zhao Linlin that I didn't realize Fu Linzhou was quietly approaching me. 20. Suddenly, I felt my mouth and nose covered, and immediately, all strength drained from my body. I looked back to see Fu Linzhou holding a cloth over my mouth, his eyes revealing a clear, unsettling madness. Soon, very soon, the whole world will know you belong to me alone. Yao Yao, after this, I'll make sure you can never leave me for the rest of your life. His words sent chills down my spine. I desperately fought to stay conscious, determined to see where Fu Linzhou was taking me. But my consciousness gradually faded until I sank into complete darkness. Now all our last hope rests with Gu Chen. Thankfully, he makes time to visit me daily. If he finds me missing, he'll surely send people to look for me. When I came to again, I found myself in an unfamiliar, vast and monotonous hall surrounded by darkness, making me frown involuntarily. I began calculating how to save myself. I tried to move, only to find my hands and feet shackled in iron chains. The slightest movement made the wound sting unbearably. Let me out. Get me out of here. I screamed at the top of my lungs, but no one answered. Only my own echo replied. I guess this must be the suburbs. I need to keep my cool before Gu Chen finds me. I kept praying in my heart for Gu Chen to come rescue me. Suddenly the door swung open, and Fu Linzhou walked in carrying all sorts of things. And he had the smug grin plastered across his face. Yao Yao, you're awake. I brought you lots of your favorite foods. There's roasted sweet potato from East Street and cornmeal porridge from West Market. You used to always nag me about wanting to eat these, but I was always too busy to take you. Now, I have all the time in the world. I'm going to make good on every promise I made to you that I never got around to fulfilling. So, are you looking forward to our future together? I've just realized that as long as I'm in the same space as you, I feel incredibly happy. Yao Yao, my heart and my body are both telling me they've fallen deeply in love with you. Ugh. I couldn't help but feel nauseous after hearing Fu Linzhou's words. I hunched over, dry heaving repeatedly. Fu Linzhou's expression shifted, and it took him a long moment before he finally brought me some water. Here, drink some water to calm down. When he tried to pat my back, I instinctively jerked away. The iron shackles around my wrists and ankles dug deep into my flesh from the sudden strain, leaving angry red marks. I bit my lip hard, not making a sound. A flicker of hurt crossed Fu Lingzhou's face when he saw my resolute decision to leave him. Soon he forced a reassuring smile. "All right, I won't touch you then. Drink some water and eat something, or you'll collapse from exhaustion." This time, after arranging everything, Fu Lingzhou maintained a deliberate distance from me. My guard slowly began to drop. "I'm really weak right now. I have to eat, or my body won't be able to hold on." I slowly took a few sips of the porridge and felt my strength gradually returning. 20. Seeing this, Fu Lingzhou's smile returned, but seeing my distant expression, he never dared to take another step closer. "Fu Lingzhou, you're committing a crime right now. Sooner or later, you'll end up in jail. Aren't you afraid?" "No, I'm not. I've already lost everything anyway. So now's the time to enjoy myself." After Fu Lingzhou finished clearing away the food, he waved his hand and gave a bitter, helpless laugh. "I just want to cherish the time we have together, even if I know you don't love me anymore. But I still want to possess you." Seeing my silence, Fu Lingzhou turned on the projector and put on my favorite movie, Titanic. "Let's start with watching a movie together. Yao Yao, will you talk to me? I promise I won't hurt you during this time." Fu Lingzhou pleaded in a low, humble voice. "I can't fathom what act you're putting on, playing the devoted martyr in front of me, yet tearing me apart for Zhao Linlin's sake. Are you doing this to indulge your vulgar whims? If so, you're truly despicable. Fu Lingzhou, you're nothing but a selfish, petty man. Someone like you doesn't deserve happiness." I spat venomously, watching him do the very things I'd once longed for him to share with me. Not only was I not happy in the slightest, but I actually felt utterly disgusted. His utter hypocrisy sickened me to my core. I've never felt I did anything wrong regarding Linlin. She's my mentor's daughter, and I can't owe her anything. If I were to ever wrong her, my inner balance would slowly tip. If she were to ask me to marry her, I wouldn't be able to refuse. After all, her father's kindness and recognition of my talent mean everything to me. Without his help, I wouldn't be where I am today. But Yao Yao, you're different. You're the only one in my heart. I may owe you many promises now, but I'll make it up to you when time allows." Fu Lingzhou nearly made me laugh in frustration. "Enough. I won't waste time on pointless conversations. Let the past stay buried. Guchen will find me soon, and then we'll be completely done. You'd better mean what you say, hurt me even slightly, and I'll make sure you pay dearly for it." Though my words sounded firm, I felt no real conviction behind them. Since I'm currently dependent on others, the only thing I can count on is Fu Lingzhou's guilt towards me. Fu Lingzhou's face contorted instantly. "What makes you trust Guchen so much? He's nothing but a hypocrite. If you hadn't married me so early, he would have already made his move on you. What happened back then was mostly because I offended someone. But Guchen isn't entirely blameless either, because he was the one who introduced me to that business deal. He orchestrated everything. After you got hurt, that bastard kept showing up to take responsibility, but I chased him away every single time. The bastard's clearly up to no good. You two aren't even involved, yet he shamelessly forces his way in pretending to care. I bet he staged that accident just to claim you. What a hypocrite." 21. "Shut your mouth. You're not worthy of even saying Guchen's name," I roared at Fu Lingzhou. "Guchen's nothing like how he described. Trash like him sees everything through a filthy lens, typical of a rotten mind." I'm truly impressed by Fu Lingzhou's psychopathic tendencies. He always finds a way to justify everything he does. Fu Lingzhou flinched when I yelled at him, then quickly gave a bitter smile. "I'm telling the truth. You never used to interrupt me like this before, and you know that was in the past. Now, all I feel when I see you is disgust. So can you please drop that devoted act? Aren't you about to marry Zhao Linlin?" But I didn't voice the rest of that thought. I'm afraid if I say it, he'll misunderstand and think I still have feelings for him. Fu Lingzhou looked like he had something to say, trying to play the pitiful victim in front of me, but I chose to ignore him. He was about to say something else, but his phone rang. He pulled it out, glanced at it, then instinctively looked at me. Seeing no reaction from me, he finally picked up the call and walked out. I didn't even need to think to know it had to be Zhao Linlin calling him. I couldn't care less about their past romantic drama. I just wanted to get out of this suffocating place immediately. Taking a few steps forward, I heard Fu Lingzhou's irritated tone. "Zhao Linlin, how many times must I say this? I'm not marrying you. I only agreed to those things before because I wanted you off my back. Push me any further, and don't blame me if we both go down together." I couldn't hear Zhao Linlin's response, but I bet it was more of her pitiful act. "Fu Lingzhou, I'm thirsty. Get me some water," I shouted toward the door. "All right, just a moment." Soon, Fu Lingzhou walked in, poured some water, and handed it to me. After pretending to drink a few sips, I feigned sleepiness. Fu Linzhou immediately understood and helped me make the bed. That was just, I have no interest in your personal life. I flat out refused to engage. I used to always wonder what Fu Linzhou did every day, and who he spent his time with. Back then I was extremely insecure, so I tried to ease my anxiety by learning more about his life. But whenever I eagerly asked Fu Linzhou, he'd just give me vague responses before shutting down the conversation. He'd always sneak away to take calls, which really unsettled me. When I asked to check his phone, he'd snap at me, calling me controlling and saying I never respected his privacy. We fought endlessly about it. Later, he started making concessions, taking her calls right in front of me. From that moment on, Zhao Linlin, like a slow-acting poison, began to seep into both our lives. Whenever Zhao Linlin needed something, Fu Linzhou would drop everything with me in an instant and rush off to solve her problems. Later, fearing he'd abandon me for Zhao Linlin, I kept giving in, only to end up brutally murdered. This is all the handiwork of that despicable pair. Thankfully, it's not too late this time around. I won't be as foolish as I was in my past life. I checked the time. Zhao Linlin should be arriving soon. 22. Sure enough, a moment later, I heard a frantic knocking at the door, along with Zhao Linlin's agitated voice. An impatient look immediately crossed my face. My apologies. I didn't know she was coming. I'll get rid of her right now. No one is going to interrupt our time together. I ignored Fu Linzhou's words, but I couldn't help but inwardly complain. To hell with our time together. After Fu Linzhou left, I tried to find the key in the room. The first step to leaving is to gain freedom, but I searched every corner of the room and couldn't find the key, so I finally gave up. It seems he didn't leave the key in the room. The thought of being confined to this room filled me with an overwhelming sense of frustration. A moment later, the door opened, and Fu Linzhou and Zhao Linlin walked in together. Zhao Linlin's face had regained its color, and when she saw me, her eyes sparkled with jealousy. If Fu Linzhou hadn't been by her side, she would have surely pounced on me and torn me to shreds, but now she looked completely innocent, like a delicate flower. Sister Yao Yao, I'll unchain you right now. Brother Zhou really has no compassion at all. How could he use such a big dog chain to lock you up? You're a human, not his pet dog. This is just too much. Sister Yao Yao, don't be mad at Brother Zhou. I'll make sure to teach him a good lesson from now on. Alright, I agreed immediately. Zhao Linlin's expression shifted, and she came over to unlock the chains for me. She never expected me to not argue back, which clearly threw her off balance. Thanks to you clearing my name and diverting public attention, I can finally live in peace. I can't thank you enough. Yao Yao, Zhao Linlin, you're as shameless as ever. Trashy people really do spew nothing but trash. My sudden change in attitude instantly made Zhao Linlin's face flush with anger. I saw her pinching her thigh hard, holding back for a while before she finally whimpered, "Wah, I was so silly before, trying to ruin your relationship, but now I've had a change of heart. I'm going to find my own happiness, and I'll bless both of you. So, Sister Yao Yao, can you and Brother Zhou grant me one tiny request?" Seeing my silence, Fu Linzhou spoke up first. "Of course, go ahead. As long as it's within our power, we'll do our best. Actually, I already have someone I like, but my family doesn't approve of us being together because he's been to prison before," Zhao Linlin said with a dejected look. "But I really love him, and I don't want to break up with him. I want Yao Yao to ask CEO Gu to acknowledge him as her cousin. With Gu Chen's connection, my boyfriend's status will gradually rise. That way, my family won't stand in the way of us being together anymore." Zhao Linlin finished speaking, a shy expression still lingering on her face. I disagree. I didn't know what she was scheming, but I knew it couldn't be anything good. "What makes you think you're entitled to my help? You've got some nerve." "Sister Yao Yao, how can you say that? Do you know he went to jail because he saved someone who was raped and accidentally killed the attacker? That's why he's in prison. So what does that have to do with us? You're all victims. How can you have no sympathy at all?" Sob. Zhao Linlin started crying again, overcome with distress. Fu Linzhou clearly looked pained, wanting to offer comfort yet hesitating to act. 23. I couldn't be bothered watching their charade. "Fine, hand me the phone then. I'll contact Gu Chen myself." But this was also a perfect opportunity to reach out to Gu Chen. "I knew you'd agree, Yao Yao. Only those who've been through something like that truly understand the despair." Zhao Linlin kept bringing up how I was hurt, and as her sister, it felt like she was just tearing open my wounds again. Even though I cared deeply, I wouldn't show any emotion. I was just about to grab my phone when Fu Linzhou snatched it away. "No way. If Yao Yao gets in touch with Gu Chen, I'll lose her completely. This is the safest place for her right now, and I won't let anyone ruin my happiness." Fu Linzhou was losing it. and I just felt a headache coming on. Zhao Linlin, however, left her phone with me and hurried out, pulling Fu Linzhou along. I didn't overthink it. I just grabbed my phone and immediately called Gu Chen. After dialing, hearing Gu Chen's voice instantly calmed my frayed nerves. Soon after, I heard Gu Chen had people tracing my exact location through my phone number. Yao Yao, don't be scared. I'm coming to pick you up and bring you home right away. Okay, I'll wait for you. I told Gu Chen about my situation and assured him I hadn't been harmed at all, which finally put his mind at ease. Before long, Fu Linzhou and Xiao Linlin came back in. I reluctantly hung up the phone, noticing that Fu Linzhou's expression was quite somber. Xiao Linlin, on the other hand, was all smiles. I found this a bit unusual and watched them warily, but I couldn't pinpoint what the problem was. It wasn't until I saw the person behind them that my blood ran cold. It was Zhao Linlin's younger brother, the same person who raped and murdered me in my previous life. In my last life, Zhao Linlin tricked me into playing an escape room game, intentionally locking me in a separate room so an NPC could assault me. Zhao Linlin had already set up surveillance in the room, live streaming the process of my rape and murder. After I died, Zhao Linlin even faked a game scenario to help the NPC escape culpability. My body was dumped in the wilderness, and I died with a grievance. It was only at the very end that I finally recognized the NPC's face. It was Zhao Linlin's own brother. In my previous life, all I knew was that Zhao Linlin's biological brother was in jail, and their whole family disowned him. Yet, Zhao Linlin secretly took great care of him. All it took was a few tears from Zhao Linlin in front of her brother, and he would immediately avenge her. Zhao Linlin is truly a malicious woman, very skilled at cultivating her own instruments of revenge. With the right tools, she'll be twice as productive in everything she does. Now that her brother has suddenly shown up, knowing Zhao Linlin, she's definitely going to pull the same old tricks again. I still haven't figured out why she's so desperate to destroy me right now. But since I know what she's capable of, I'll definitely be extra careful. This time, I won't let them get away with it again. Everyone who's ever hurt me will pay. One by one, Zhao Linlin's younger brother walked up to me with a smile. Hi, I'm Linlin's husband, Zhao Heng. Nice to meet you. His intense gaze made me tremble a little, but I forced myself to stay calm. 24. Seeing that I hadn't extended my hand to shake his, a flicker of ruthlessness crossed his face before he quickly resumed his smile. Alright, we've said our hellos. Now we just wait for Mr. Gu to arrive. When he does, you really need to make a good impression. Whether he agrees to take you on as his cousin will depend entirely on this one meeting. Zhao Linlin came over and pulled Zhao Heng's hand back, and the two of them exchanged glances at the same time. I keenly observed my surroundings and, sure enough, suddenly noticed a lot of cameras. Just then, Fu Linzhou cleared his throat. Actually, I'd originally planned to build a large amusement park here, but I never found a developer to partner with. Linlin, haven't you always hated me clinging to you every day? If you can just get CEO Gu to invest in my amusement park today, I promise I'll never bother you again. You know, Gu Chen has blacklisted all my businesses. They're completely dead now. This is the only venture I have left to make a living. Can't you just grant me this one small request? Fu Linzhou spoke earnestly, his voice barely above a whisper. I pretended not to notice their expectant gazes. Alright, but I have one condition. We wait for Gu Chen to join us. They all readily agreed. Since they want to play, I'll see this through to the end. Let's find out who breaks first. Sure enough, Zhao Linlin made the same request as in my previous life, to play an escape room. Every NPC in the escape room wore a mask and identical clothing. In the dark, it was impossible to tell who anyone really was. I noticed Zhao Heng was gone. Zhao Linlin must have already stashed him away in one of the rooms. Meanwhile, Zhao Linlin had already pulled out her phone. Sister Yao Yao, you don't mind if I go live, do you? It's all for the good of the amusement park, really. I just want more people to see how much fun this place is. After Zhao Linlin finished speaking, she turned the camera to me and said, Hey everyone, let me introduce you to today's stunning beauty, Lin Yao. She's incredibly good at escape rooms. Where is the streamer playing? This environment doesn't look like it's in China, but wow, it really has that escape room vibe. It feels so realistic. Could you tell us about the script? This script is the first half of Red Knight, which I'm sure you've all seen. This beautiful lady right here is our protagonist. And the story is 100% faithful to the original. I noticed quite a few people watching. Zhao Linlin is always stirring up trouble, but who would have thought she'd actually crack the code to viral content and become a minor internet celebrity? The comments were all buzzing with anticipation. When Gu Chen arrived, Zhao Linlin instinctively reached for her phone to film, but one look from Gu Chen sent her scurrying back. Gu Chen immediately came over to check if I was hurt. After a thorough examination, he finally relaxed once he saw I was perfectly fine. I whispered my plan to him. Guchen was worried, but he still chose to cooperate with me. Before, I was afraid I couldn't handle them all by myself, but now that Guchen is here, I'm suddenly full of confidence. After getting the character quest, I was the only one doing the side quest, which was just sitting in the room waiting for the young master to pick me up, 25, while waiting. Guchen quietly had someone take me out through a side door, leaving the unconscious Zhao Linlin on the bed. Guchen and I naturally weren't in the mood to play escape rooms with them. We left early to watch the livestream. Meanwhile, Fu Linzhou, his face etched with worry, was asking the actress playing Zhao Linlin, "Are you sure your brother will only tarnish Yao Yao's reputation and not actually harm her? And make sure to blur Yao Yao's face in the video you record. I'm afraid she'll be hurt again. Our main goal this time is to make Guchen completely abandon Yao Yao. Only then can Yao Yao return to me forever." Fu Linzhou only slightly relaxed after seeing Zhao Linlin nod, but Fu Linzhou had no idea that what he had just said was already being live-streamed online. What a scumbag. He'd do anything to get what he wants. He's capable of such despicable things. Can we call the police? This is a blatant conspiracy. Why call the cops? Those people inside are all capitalists. What do you think the police can do to them? Yeah, just treat it as a thrill and move on. Maybe this is all part of a script. Pretty exciting to think about. The comments drifted on, but no one brought up calling the police again. The moment I saw Zhao Heng, Zhao Linlin's younger brother, come out, I immediately sent the live stream to the Zhao family. Wow, are these intoxicating sounds something I should be hearing? The two people behind the curtain are really going at it. Rich people really know how to have fun. We're just pawns in their game. If I'm not mistaken, that must be Lin Yao in there. She's always had a reputation for being a social butterfly, but I never imagined she'd be so wild and private. It's her. Hi everyone, I'm Lin Yao, and that's not me in there. I waved confidently at the camera, and the live chat exploded with speculation about who was actually inside. Some people even started offering huge bounties for anyone present to film higher definition videos. Besides Zhao Linling's younger brother, Zhao Heng, I also invited Zhao Linling's ex-boyfriend, that high-class gigolo. Ever since his affair with Zhao Linlin came to light, no one has been willing to patronize his business. Every day, he's been forced to live by scavenging, and he's harbored a deep hatred for Zhao Linlin for a long time. I'd been quietly tracking his movements, deliberately feeding him information on Zhao Linlin's whereabouts. When necessary, I even provided him with crucial assistance, making it easy for him to locate Zhao Linlin. After Zhao Heng had finished and was about to make his move on Zhao Linlin, the gigolo immediately intervened. "You don't need to do anything. I'll handle it. I have AIDS. Once she's been with me, her life will be ruined. She'll never be able to cause trouble again." Zhao Heng gave him a thumbs up and agreed to record a video for them as requested by Nilong. I really admire Nilong's courage to just go for it, but then again, Zhao Linlin's past misdeeds were bound to catch up with her. Still, Zhao Heng is such an idiot. He filmed for so long and didn't even realize the person underneath was his own sister. The livestream was quickly shut down, but I knew Zhao Linlin's story would spread across all sorts of websites. Her face would soon be recognized and talked about by the public. Just thinking about his future fate filled me with an immense sense of satisfaction. "Shall we go celebrate?" Guchen suggested. I nodded, took his hand, and we started our journey back. It was only then that I realized Fu Linzhou had brought me to a deserted island. No wonder Guchen had been searching for so long without finding me. I had never been here in my previous life, so I had no idea Fu Linzhou possessed such a hidden property. I always thought I knew Fu Linzhou inside and out, even believing I could manipulate his actions. Looking back now, I still feel a chill. Luckily, Fu Linzhou was foolish enough not to intend to imprison me for life. Instead, he chose Zhao Linlin's suggestion to ruin me, ensuring I'd have no choice but to stay by his side. 26. Fu Linzhou received a call from his mentor, urging him to rush and save Zhao Linlin. Fu Linzhou was completely bewildered. Zhao Linlin should still be live streaming, so how could she be in danger? Did Zhao Heng do something to Yao Yao? The thought spurred Fu Linzhou to quicken his pace. He just wanted everyone to despise Lin Yao. Only then could she truly belong to him. But he didn't want Lin Yao to suffer any harm whatsoever. After all, that was the person he loved most, and any harm to her would break his heart. With that thought, his pace quickened. He had never met Zhao Heng, but he had heard about him from Zhao Linlin. Zhao Linlin often told him that Zhao Heng was a madman, always doing illegal and disciplinary things just for the thrill of it. He joined this operation because he found it thrilling. Just hearing Zhao Linlin say that, he immediately felt Zhao Heng was unreliable, and might have already made a move on Lin Yao just for the thrill of it. Fu Linzhou came outside the cubicle. and hearing the intense screams from inside the room. His fists clenched uncontrollably, his heart ached terribly, but to completely possess Lin Yao, he had no choice but to do this. He realized that he no longer held any place in Lin Yao's eyes or her heart. He was the one who personally lost the Lin Yao who once had eyes only for him and a heart full of him, so, he deserved everything that was happening to him. He secretly vowed to himself that after tonight, he would treat Lin Yao exceptionally well, staying by her side every moment. Staying by her side as she slowly heals, gradually returning to the bright, sunny girl she once was. He believed that with enough effort and sincerity, they would definitely get back to how things used to be. After all, Lin Yao was easily swayed by emotion, a little bit of a sob story from him, and she'd be shedding precious tears. The sounds from inside continued unabated, and Fu Lingzhou's face was streaked with tears. He's absolutely regretting his decision now, but he's already taken this step. And there's no turning back. Enough, stop it, I'm going to kill you all. Fu Lingzhou finally couldn't take it anymore. He kicked open the door, grabbed Zhao Heng by the collar, and tried to attack him. Zhao Heng wasn't one to back down. He reacted quickly, pinning Fu Lingzhou to the ground and roughing him up. Fu Lingzhou's eyes widened as he stared at the two people in the room. You animals, how could you do something like this to Yao Yao? Yao Yao, my Yao Yao. Fu Lingzhou scrambled to his feet, desperate to check on Lin Yao. Seeing his frantic state, the male escort felt a pang of guilt. You've got the wrong person. There's no Yao Yao here. This bitch's name is Zhao Linlin. You should look somewhere else. What? Zhao Heng immediately turned on his phone's flashlight at the gigolo's words, only to see his sister pinned beneath the man. Her face was bruised, and blood seeped from between her legs. Some marks were his doing, others the gigolo's handiwork. Zhao Heng completely snapped. He just slept with his own sister. Even someone with a strong stomach like him couldn't accept a relationship like this, especially since they had just been live streaming in front of the entire nation. The moment Fu Lingzhou saw it was Zhao Linlin, a look of relief washed over his face. Thank goodness it's not Yao Yao. Thank goodness it's not Yao Yao. The entire escape room descended into chaos in an instant. 27. Haicheng. Some time later. I finally saw news about Zhao Linlin and her group, the Zhao family, prioritizing righteousness over kinship, directly handed Zhao Heng over to the authorities. As for Nilong's whereabouts, no one ever reported on them. Some suspect he's already been dealt with. Zhao Linlin, on the other hand, lives out her days in constant despair. She's lost not only her reputation but also her inner peace, and to top it all off, she contracted AIDS. She'll be an outcast for the rest of her life, forever shamed. Unable to face the future, she's truly contemplated ending it all, but when it comes down to it, she can't bring herself to do it. She could only blame Fu Lingzhou for her predicament. The Zhao family also started pressuring Fu Lingzhou to marry Zhao Linlin. Fu Lingzhou took responsibility for his actions, announcing to the public and the media that he would marry Zhao Linlin, but I didn't get a single word of praise. Everyone was saying they were a match made in hell, and that scumbags and sluts should just be locked together forever. I was thoroughly enjoying reading the comments, while Gu Chen was feeding me fruit beside me. Yao Yao, your issues should all be resolved now, right? Will you marry me? Faced with Gu Chen's sudden proposal, I was a bit taken aback. Why are you proposing so suddenly? Do your family know about this? Do they know about my past? I'm afraid they won't accept who I am. After all, someone like you must have a complicated family life, and I don't want to put you in a difficult position. I think it's perfectly fine for us to keep things the way they are. I got more and more agitated. Or are you saying you don't want to keep things ambiguous with me anymore? Are you trying to break up? Stop, Gu Chen said, playfully flicking my nose. You're getting way ahead of yourself. I'm already 30 this year. If I don't get married, my family will start gossiping. Besides, I've already introduced you to my parents, and they're very happy with you. All those worries you have are baseless. My family genuinely likes you. What's more, don't you think that with all the success your husband has achieved, I should at least have a say in my own marriage? Gu Chen finished with a touch of smugness. He claims to be almost 30, but honestly, he still looks like a fresh-faced kid just out of his teens. But after hearing Gu Chen's explanation, I felt much more at ease. I was deeply touched. I had no idea Gu Chen had been working so hard behind the scenes for me. Thank you for all your hard work. I expressed my gratitude. Gu Chen kissed my forehead and said, don't be silly. They agreed because you're truly exceptional. I just showed them your photo, and they immediately thought you were perfect for the role, even praised my good taste. You silver-tongued devil. A smooth tongue is how a man wins his wife, Gu Chen, with a hint of arrogance, said, as a reward, and I pulled him down, kissing him fiercely on the lips. This 30-year-old man is simply too charming, constantly seducing me. I think today is perfect for celebrating. How about we do something a little more meaningful? I extended the invitation, and Guchen immediately picked up on my signal. His face immediately flushed. Then you have to be gentle with me. After all, it's my first time, and I don't have any experience. Boo-hoo, soon. Guchen's words were swallowed by me, and the entire room filled with ambiguous sounds. Men truly are quick learners. By the time I came to my senses again, Guchen had already cooked porridge and was feeding it to me. He even thoughtfully placed a soft pillow behind my back. A man who pays attention to details is incredibly attractive to me. I just can't resist kissing him, the moment our eyes met. We were locked in an inseparable kiss. Guchen and I are incredibly compatible, both in life and on a spiritual level. Being with him is so comfortable. I'm really enjoying how things are right now. A lot of my girlfriends have told me I look much better and keep asking for my skincare secrets, but I couldn't really say anything at the moment. After all, I hadn't paid much attention to skincare myself. It was just because Guchen was around. Nevertheless, I shared all the skincare products Guchen usually bought for me, and soon many people expressed their envy again. 28. It wasn't long before Guchen took me home to meet his parents, and just as Guchen had said, his father and mother were indeed very easy to get along with. They kept telling me that if Guchen ever bullied me, I should definitely report him to them, and they would make sure to teach him a good lesson. I immediately nodded with a smile. But I told them that Guchen had always been very kind to me and never bullied me. Seeing how harmoniously we got along, they felt even more relieved. They immediately asked Guchen to arrange a meeting between our parents to pick a wedding date for us as soon as possible. The meeting between both sets of parents went smoothly, and the wedding date was quickly set. Guchen and I didn't have to lift a finger. Our families took care of all the wedding preparations for us. I never imagined getting married could be this effortless. When Fu Linzhou and I had our wedding, I was personally involved in every single detail. Fu Linzhou's only contribution was showing up as the groom. I used to be so understanding of how busy he was that I'd proactively take everything upon myself. After organizing that wedding, I was completely exhausted, but Fu Linzhou thought I was just faking it to get his sympathy. He didn't appreciate my hard work at all. He just thought everything I did was to be expected. Looking back now, it must have been a lack of love. Otherwise, how could he bear to let the person he supposedly loved work so hard? Guchen and I understand each other completely now. Neither of us wants the other to suffer. Fortunately, we've lived enough to be past the age of hardship, so Guchen tends to look after me a bit more. 29. Now, all we have to do is attend the wedding. It was a truly blessed wedding, celebrated with exceptional grandeur. Guchen even had someone keep an eye on Fu Linzhou, just in case he tried to disrupt our wedding again. I'd almost forgotten about Fu Linzhou until Guchen brought him up. I'm not worried at all about Fu Linzhou ruining our wedding. He's got too much on his plate right now. Why would he bother with something so thankless and draining? Fu Linzhou has always been someone who knows how to read the room and adapt. The wedding went smoothly, and Fu Linzhou never showed up. But then, at the wedding, I received an anonymous text message with well wishes. It was from Fu Linzhou, but I didn't read it. I blocked the number and then fully enjoyed the wedding, embracing the happiness that was ours. However, I still underestimated Fu Linzhou's audacity. He actually stood at the very front of the wedding motorcade, blocking our way. I opened the safe in my bedroom, took out the documents, and went to the living room. And also, I'm sorry. Yao Yao, I'm truly sorry. I'm not worthy of your kindness. I love you so much. Let's meet again in our next life. With that, he charged straight towards the car, but Guchen kicked him away. Get lost. Don't bring your bad luck here. Someone like you appearing in Yao Yao's life is simply a stain on her existence. Fu Linzhou was kicked so hard he spat blood, muttering regretful words. Good that you're back. Good that it's no longer me by your side. I watched Fu Linzhou's performance with cold indifference the whole time, until I saw Zhao Linlin stab him with a dagger. Fu Linzhou quickly collapsed to the ground. You deserve to die. I paid such a huge price for you, and yet you still can't forget that bitch. You truly deserve to die. You deserve to die. After saying that, she didn't forget to stab Fu Linzhou a few more times. He died on the spot shortly after. Zhao Linlin was taken away by the police, but it was discovered that she was mentally unstable, so she wasn't sentenced. However, the Zhao family completely abandoned caring for Zhao Linlin, leaving her in a mental hospital and never looking back. Zhao Linlin wasn't safe even in the mental hospital. She frantically claimed to have AIDS and would cut herself, letting her blood flow everywhere, hoping to infect more people. No mental hospital was willing to admit Zhao Linlin. Eventually, she ended up on the streets, trying to infect everyone she saw. One late night, she was quietly dealt with. Good riddance to bad rubbish. The world's a quieter place without that menace. Guchen still harbored a grudge against Fu Linzhou for ruining our wedding and wanted to remarry, but I turned him down every time. My current condition doesn't allow for too much exertion, after all. I'm pregnant and need to rest. Upon hearing the news, Guchen was so excited he bounced around like a little kid. From then on, his daily mission became taking care of me and our child, always fulfilling my every request. Even if I asked for the stars, he'd immediately contact the space agency without a second thought, buy a satellite, name it after me, and give it to me. Guchen's devotion to me was never something that could be summed up in words. It was evident in every single detail of our daily lives. Anything I ever mentioned, whether intentionally or not, he would actively make happen. He hasn't changed a bit since the day I met him. I kept asking him why he was so good to me. He said that on my 18th birthday, I captivated his entire summer, and every day since, he'd been planning how to be good to me. I can't believe he's had a crush on me for so long, and been so devoted. It's a good thing I met Guchen in this life. I've started another happy chapter of my life with him. Every moment with Guchen is pure bliss. Story 2. Jiangqing deliberately left his college application blank to retake the exams with his unrequited love who failed, keeping his family in the dark. Watching his parents proudly boast about his high scores to everyone, I couldn't bear it and revealed the truth to them. Furious, Mr. and Mrs. Jiang forced their son to enroll in a prestigious university. Though Jiangqing achieved great success later, any chance with his first love was forever lost. He hated me to the core, tormenting me to death. Given a second chance at life, I stopped meddling in others' affairs. I just stood by and watched the Jiang family descend into utter chaos. Everyone must face the consequences of their actions. I'll never meddle in others' karma again. On college entrance results day, Jiangqing's face was clouded with gloom. His childhood sweetheart Lin Xiaoxiao underperformed, missing their dream university by a hair's breadth. Yet Jiangqing aced the exams, far surpassing previous year's admission scores. In the hallway, red-eyed Lin Xiaoxiao pleaded between sobs. Jiangqing, it was just a fluke. Will you retake the exams with me? I'll definitely get in next year. Jiangqing hesitated slightly, sounding torn. But my parents will be watching when I submit my college applications. Just submit it first. Then delete it at the last minute before the final confirmation. Problem solved, right? Lin Xiaoxiao wiped her tears angrily. Jiangqing, don't you love me? You won't even retake the exams with me. How could you think that? Jiangqing pulled Lin Xiaoxiao into his arms and whispered reassuringly, don't worry, I'll always be here for you no matter what. Qing, you're so sweet. I pinched my arm hard to confirm I'd truly been reborn. Jiangqing and I grew up together as next-door neighbors. In my past life, I happened to overhear this conversation between Jiangqing and Lin Xiaoxiao. Knowing Jiangqing usually scored around 650, this rare 680-point performance shouldn't be wasted on carelessly missing a top university opportunity. After much hesitation, I ultimately informed Jiangqing's parents about this. His parents secretly monitored Jiangqing, caught him attempting to delete his application at the last minute, and flew into such rage that they slapped him while forcing him to break up with Lin Xiaoxiao. Jiangqing secured his college placement, but Lin Xiaoxiao was heartbroken by his betrayal and refused to see him ever again. That night, a drunken Jiangqing kicked down my door and choked me, snarling, Su Qingqing, you're the one who told my parents, aren't you? You jinx, how could you be so vicious? I couldn't speak as Jiangqing strangled me until his parents heard the commotion and pulled their enraged son away. I wept. I don't know what I did wrong. Lin Xiaoxiao's grades weren't outstanding. Even without underperforming, she stood no chance of getting into the same university as Jiangqing. Repeating a year is full of uncertainties. No one can predict what might happen. I couldn't bear to watch Jiangqing throw away years of hard-earned prospects for some fleeting romance. Nor could I stand seeing kind Uncle and Aunt Zhang's decades of effort go to waste. Now, I understand. My greatest mistake was meddling in others' karma. Such interference always comes at a price. The days that followed were no different from my past life. Jiangqing submitted his college applications as usual, while his beaming parents couldn't stop boasting to everyone about their son soon attending university in Beijing. Unlike my previous life, I gave no warnings this time, just played dumb. True to form, at the last moment of finalizing his college applications, Jiangqing quietly deleted his only submitted choice. When everyone else started receiving their admission letters one after another, he finally confessed to his parents that he planned to retake the college entrance exams with Lin Xiaoxiao. Mrs. Jiang never imagined her son could be this foolish. She collapsed on the spot and was rushed to the hospital by ambulance. Mr. Jiang slapped his son hard across the face several times, but ultimately had no choice but to send him for another year of exam preparation. Bad news travels fast. Jiang Cheng's love-struck antics quickly became the talk of the town, with everyone convinced he'd lost his mind. For secure document protection, Chu Xiaohu bought reliable, trustworthy, and hassle-free overnight. Jiang Cheng went from being the town's golden boy to every parent's cautionary tale. Our high school cracked down on puppy love after outraged parental complaints, even hanging giant red banners across the playground warning early romance ruins lives. The class group chat was buzzing nonstop, with people constantly tagging me. Qingqing, you've known Jiangqing since childhood, don't catch his lovesick disease, show some respect, that man's a true romance warrior. I chuckled lightly and sent a none of my business meme without thinking. None of this concerns me anymore. I'd been admitted to a university in Beijing, not as prestigious as the one Jiangqing got into in my past life, but still a solid 985 institution. My wonderful life is just beginning. Without the betrayal from our past lives, Jiangqing stopped banging on my door and spent most of his days canoodling with Lin Xiaoxiao. The next time we met was already a month later. That day, my parents were seeing me off to Beijing for school when we happened to run into Jiangqing downstairs, who was heading to the hospital to pick up his mother. Perhaps our family's cheerful demeanor struck a chord with Mrs. Jiang. Her eyes grew moist as she forced a polite smile. Qingqing's school starts this early. Mom's face lit up with a warm smile. We're not in that much of a hurry. I was just thinking we could visit some attractions first. Jiang Cheng's gaze lingered on me, his expression unreadable. The cram school had already started by then. Whether it was due to rampant gossip or the overwhelming academic pressure, he looked visibly haggard, a far cry from the blissful glow of someone in love. Memories of my past life filled me with disgust. Clutching Mom's arm, I urged, let's hurry, or we'll miss our flight. Mom acknowledged with a response and was about to leave when Jiangqing urgently called out, Qingqing, I need to talk to you. I froze for a moment, instinctively furrowing my brows as I replied, we'll talk later. We once shared the bond of childhood sweethearts who grew up together, but ever since Lin Xiaoxiao came into the picture, that affection has completely eroded, leaving nothing but resentment behind. Now in this lifetime, even that hatred is gone. I truly have no idea what he could possibly want to say to me. Jiangqing had always been fiercely proud. Normally, my cold remarks would have made him storm off without a second glance. Yet now he stubbornly gripped my wrist. Just one sentence. Our parents exchanged glances before wordlessly dispersing down the hallway, leaving only Jiangqing and me behind. The air grew still as Jiangqing's icy voice cut through the silence above me. Qingqing, you heard my conversation with Lin Xiaoxiao that day, didn't you? I didn't want to get involved with him and replied flatly, no, impossible. Jiangqing was visibly agitated, taking a deep breath before calming slightly. When I came out that day, I clearly saw you mopping the living room floor. I thought, what did you think? My heart skipped a beat as I abruptly looked up at Jiangqing. I thought. Jiangqing seemed to struggle for words, biting his lip before finally saying, I thought you'd say I was being foolish, that you'd try to talk me out of it. Yeah, we grew up together, and our parents were close friends. To me, Jiangqing was like an actual older brother. He's always been stubborn. Whenever he got difficult, I'd try to reason with him like an adult would, but instead of appreciation, all I got was increasingly hostile glares. Whenever the Jiangs noticed I'd been wronged by their son, they'd compensate by treating me twice as kindly, doting on me like their own flesh and blood. It was precisely these emotional bonds that made me unable to bear seeing the Jiang parents' grief in my past life, leading me to interfere with Jiang Cheng's karma, remembering my miserable fate in the previous life. I scoffed coldly, don't flatter yourself, you're just a stranger to me. Why would I waste my breath lecturing you? Jiangqing looked utterly stunned, his eyes widening as if he'd never imagined I could utter such heartless words. Qingqing, we grew up together since childhood sweethearts. I burst out laughing as if hearing the most absurd joke, only continuing under Jiangqing's puzzled gaze after a long pause. Childhood sweethearts grow up together, supporting each other to become better people. What we had was just being neighbors who happened to cross paths more often than others. I still remember how he coldly pretended not to see me when my bike broke down after night class, just to avoid making Lin Xiaoxiao jealous. How dare you bring up childhood sweethearts to my face? The sheer audacity. Jiangqing stared at me intently, scrutinizing every micro-expression to confirm my honesty before his towering frame staggered violently. Qingqing, I know you're jealous of Lin Xiaoxiao, but you had no right to act so willfully and stand idly by during the most crucial moment of my life. Oh, so now you're trying to gaslight me into taking the blame for not telling your parents the truth. I stared coldly at Jiangqing, Could he have been reborn too? The suspicion flashed through my mind but was quickly dismissed. In his past life, Jiangqing sailed smoothly through everything. After completing his medical bachelor's and master's degrees domestically, he was recommended by his mentor to pursue a Ph.D. at a prestigious German university. Upon returning, he became China's top neurosurgeon, living a life of pride and freedom. His only regret was never getting together with Lin Xiaoxiao, his high school sweetheart and eternal crush. A man like him would never have such a foolish, clueless look in his eyes. Well then. The only explanation is that Jiangqing knew from the start that I'd overheard those words, unwilling to give up his elite university spot yet afraid to upset Lin Xiaoxiao by refusing to retake exams with her. He banked on my soft heart, counting on me to inform his parents rather than watch him throw away his future. This way, he'd secure his dream university while conveniently shifting all blame onto me, giving him every right to resent me. Then he'd exploit my guilt to milk every possible advantage. A guilty conscience needs no accuser. Jiangqing's gaze grew shifty under my knowing smirk, yet he stubbornly maintained an air of righteous indignation. What? Am I wrong? You're nothing but selfish. Meeting his calculating stare, I smiled slowly. So you never actually wanted to retake the college entrance exams with Lin Xiaoxiao, you were just forced into it. Stung by the truth, Jiangqing flew into a rage. Nonsense. I volunteered. If you went willingly, why blame me for not stopping you? Don't give me that you didn't hear nonsense. Even if I had, what obligation did I have to interfere with your grand romance? Of course, Jiangqing was momentarily speechless from my sarcasm. I had no intention of wasting more words on him and turned to leave, only to see Lin Xiaoxiao suddenly charge into the hallway, raising her hand to strike my face while spewing obscenities. Su Qingqing, you shameless woman. Even when you're leaving, you're still trying to seduce Qing here. Can't you see how much he despises you? Hearing this, Jiangqing looked visibly awkward, but quickly regained his composed demeanor and wrapped an arm around Lin Xiaoxiao's shoulders. Don't get the wrong idea, Xiaoxiao. Su Qingqing just wanted to say goodbye to me, that's all. Humph. It was Jiangqing who came to confront me. Yet now he's twisting it to make it seem like I'm the one who can't let go. What a spineless coward. For a moment, I desperately wanted to slap him hard across the face, but I held back and said with a blank expression, Jiangqing, everyone must take responsibility for their actions. Since you've chosen to play the pure love warrior, then commit to the role properly. Stop this hypocritical act. It only makes you more pathetic. That remark hit Jiangqing right where it hurt. He glared at me icily. What's your problem, Su Qingqing? I'm trying to save your dignity here. Don't push your luck. You're the one pushing your luck. Having been burned too many times before, I'd secretly turned on voice recording early on to prevent any tricks from Jiangqing. Thank goodness for that foresight, otherwise I'd truly have no way to clear my name. I opened my phone and immediately sent the recording to the class group chat. Tagging Lin Xiaoxiao, it's not me obsessing over Jiangqing. He's the one who won't leave me alone. Cure your blindness before spewing that garbage. After sending it, I walked away without even glancing at those disgusting people. Behind me, Lin Xiaoxiao's curses followed. Su Qingqing, you'll pay for this. I'm not done with you. Lin Xiaoxiao is arrogant, obsessive, and viciously sarcastic. Many female classmates have endured her mocking insults. Yet she's a master of deception, transforming into a sweet, delicate green tea girl act around male classmates. Most guys see her through rose-tinted glasses. As for Jiangqing, he's always played the sanctimonious honor student. Even his boneheaded move of submitting blank college applications only earned him a love-struck fool label, never tarnishing his golden boy reputation. Now I'll rip off their hypocritical masks and give them the infamy they deserve. Gossiping is human nature. And within minutes, the class group chat exploded with activity. After piecing together the whole story, sarcastic and mocking messages about Jiangqing and Lin Xiaoxiao flooded the chat. Selfish, mean-spirited, scheming, and love-obsessed. No one would want to associate with people like that. The carefully crafted personas they'd maintained for years came crashing down. A cold smirk crossed my face as some of the pent-up frustration in my chest finally eased. In my past life, I was consumed by guilt for breaking up Jiangqing and Lin Xiaoxiao. Throughout college, I visited him weekly, doing his laundry, tidying his dorm, and treating him to meals. He wore an arrogant, icy expression, frequently lashing out with vicious words, yet accepted my care without hesitation. Even after going abroad for studies, he demanded living expenses from me when I'd just started working. Clutching the card I gave him, his eyes burned with hatred. Su Qingqing, this is what you owe me. Because of your selfish cruelty, Xiaoxiao's still missing. I'll hate you forever. Back then, I was completely gaslighted by Jiangqing into believing everything was my fault. Thinking about it now, It's downright ridiculous. Lin Xiaoxiao just transferred to another school to retake her exams and later got into some mediocre college. It's not like she died. If Jiangqing truly loved her, he could have dropped out of college to accompany her during retakes. Or at least taken the train to visit her at her new school. Yet he did nothing but harbor pure hatred toward me, because hating me was the cheapest outlet that came with all sorts of benefits. I thought this man couldn't sink any lower, but he proved me wrong. In that case, don't blame me for settling both old and new scores. Mom and Dad were waiting for me at the nearby alley entrance. Noticing my pale face, they asked with concern, "Qingqing, did that Jiangqing boy bully you?" "No." I didn't want to explain, just solemnly warned them. He's utterly despicable, not a decent person at all. Our family should cut ties with his from now on. As for Jiangqing's parents, they're decent people alright, but with such a despicable son, good parents count for nothing. I want nothing more to do with that family. These days, Jiangqing's scandalous decision to give up his 985 university spot for love has been the talk of the town. My parents had already heard about it. And when I mentioned it, they exchanged knowing glances and nodded in silent agreement. If nothing else, you should steer clear of people who can't think straight. With my parents accompanying me, I arrived at university without a hitch. Gazing at the campus where I'd spent 4 years yet scarcely truly seen, I was overwhelmed with bittersweet nostalgia. This vibrant college life. Could fate really grant me a second chance to relive it? How nice. Freed from the psychological shackles of being an informant and no longer babysitting that man-child Jiangqing, I suddenly found myself with abundant time. Beyond diligent coursework, I immersed myself in student clubs and spent hours in the library poring over foreign literary classics in their original languages. Ever since childhood, my dream was to become a translator of foreign literary classics. But because of Jiangqing, that ambition was completely derailed. Now is the time for me to absorb knowledge and keep striving forward. I'm swamped, though occasionally, I still catch updates about Jiangqing and Lin Xiaoxiao in our high school alumni group. The stress of senior year was suffocating, and repeating the grade turned out to be far less glamorous than imagined. Last time, Lin Xiaoxiao and Jiangqing had a huge fight over the recording incident, but Jiangqing, ever the silver-tongued charmer, had genuinely given up promising prospects to repeat the year with her. They reconciled before long. After making up, the inseparable pair doubled down on their studies in the repeater class, pulling all-nighters with such determination they'd have gladly drowned in textbooks 24/7. Jiangqing even texted me specifically, telling me not to get cocky just because I'd made it to college. He'd definitely get into Tsinghua or Peking University next year. I scoffed and finally replied with a few words. Impressive. People like Jiangqing, mediocre yet overconfident, can't handle praise. The more you compliment them, the more they get carried away. That's why I always call out his shortcomings directly, forcing him to confront his flaws. No wonder he despises me. This time around, without me, his personal nuisance, constantly pushing him to study. Let's see how long he lasts. As if to confirm my suspicions, it wasn't long before Jiangqing's momentum deflated like an old helium balloon, gradually shriveling from its initial plump roundness. As for Lin Xiaoxiao, she naturally bombarded me with angry messages regularly. I could have changed my number to cut her off completely, but I chose not to. The angrier this type gets, the more emotionally unstable they become. I replied to her provocation text, which carried the same tone as Jiangqing's, with utter contempt. With your current level, even 8 more years of cram school wouldn't get you within sniffing distance of Tsinghua or Peking University. Lin Xiaoxiao's shaky foundations and emotional volatility meant my scorn wouldn't motivate her. It had only sent her into a spiral of insecurity. These two built their happy life atop my bones in their past life. I'd planned to let karma handle them, but they just had to keep poking the bear. Now they've left me no choice but to bring the hammer down. Lin Xiaoxiao was desperate to prove herself, wishing Jiangqing could cram all the knowledge points into her brain. But there's no shortcut to learning. Her half-hearted attempts at cutting corners proved utterly futile. As days slipped by without any progress, her frustration grew into restless agitation. This simmering discontent peaked when she saw classmates flaunting their vibrant college lives on social media. I even posted a photo of myself reading on the lawn at dawn, captioned, "College life at its finest, even the air smells fresher." Jiangqing has a twisted personality and can't stand seeing me doing better than him. The more successful I am, the more it triggers his insecure and fragile ego. True to form, his furious message arrived right on cue. "Su Qingqing, what are you flaunting? This is just my normal life. Don't assume everyone should suffer just because you choose to." I replied coldly to Jiangqing before immediately screenshotting the conversation and sending it to Lin Xiaoxiao. Keep your boyfriend in check and tell him to stop harassing me. Without a doubt, Lin Xiaoxiao had another explosive fight with Jiang Qing. Lin started blaming Jiang, saying she could have easily gotten into a top-tier university, but his insistence on them attending the same elite 985 institution piled on unbearable pressure that ruined her college entrance exam performance. She should have been blossoming as a college freshman by now, not stuck cramming like some miserable high school senior. Having sacrificed his own spot at that prestigious 985 university, Jiang Qing's pent-up rage dwarfed Lin's by magnitudes, and now it erupted in full force. Rumor has it that Jiang Qing pointed at Lin Xiaoxiao's nose, calling her a jinx. He blamed her for his current predicament, saying it was her domineering insistence on making him retake the college entrance exams with her that led to this. Retaking exams comes at a price. Never mind whether he could outperform his current results next year. Even if he did, he'd permanently lose his status as a first-time examinee, facing restrictions when choosing universities and majors. Naturally, Lin Xiaoxiao refused to accept this accusation. She immediately pointed at Jiang Qing's nose and lashed back, accusing him of simply being infatuated with her beauty and unwilling to let her go. Why bother making all these hypocritical excuses? Jiang Qing was always a sanctimonious hypocrite to begin with, so Lin Xiaoxiao wasn't wrong in her outburst. I nodded in agreement. Who'd have thought their so-called eternal vows would crumble so easily, falling apart in less than 2 months? The high school group chat was buzzing with gossip, and some repeat-year students even secretly filmed Jiang Qing and Lin Xiaoxiao's heated argument on the playground for extra drama. As their argument escalated into a heated exchange, neither would back down. In the scuffle, Jiang Qing raised his hand and slapped Lin Xiaoxiao across the face. The slap came swift and brutal, sending Lin Xiaoxiao sprawling to the ground, drawing crowds of onlookers who stopped to gawk. Comments quickly flooded in beneath the video. How fickle life is. Just 2 months ago they were the golden couple everyone envied, and now they're throwing hands. Love really is unreliable. Soon, dissenting voices emerged. Perfect couple. This goddess who drags others down just because she couldn't get into a good university. Would you want her? How could we ever be worthy of the campus belle? Only the academic champion of pure love deserves her. People nowadays have their priorities straight. Fleeting romance should never stand in the way of one's future. I thought those two were too busy bickering with each other to bother me anymore. Never did I expect Jiang Qing to show up at my school in person. God knows how long he'd been waiting outside the library, dusty and travel-worn. He rushed toward me the moment he spotted me, unable to conceal the excitement in his voice. Qing, I finally found you. Seeing Jiang Qing's scruffy beard and listless appearance, I couldn't help but sigh. In his previous life, he attended the top medical school under the nation's best professor. With his natural academic brilliance and handsome, refined looks, he quickly became the campus heartthrob with countless admirers, while me, just a pathetic simp, worse yet, the guilt-ridden simp who cost him his true love. That's how life works. One wrong turn leads to another, and once you've taken the wrong path, there's no going back. I took 2 steps back, wrenching my wrist free from his grasp. What are you doing here? Jiang Qing bit his lip, hesitating as if struggling for words. Seeing me turn away impatiently, he finally blurted out, I've been having these strange flashes of memory lately. I remember going to college, how I resented you for breaking me and Lin Xiaoxiao apart, and how you kept taking care of me. I froze. So even those who haven't been reborn can retain memories from past lives. They're just more fleeting and indistinct. Seeing my prolonged silence, Jiang Qing grew even more agitated. He grabbed my wrist again desperately. Qing, you remember too, don't you? You hate me for betraying you. That's why you've abandoned me. How could you be so cruel? Forgive me, Qing. I'll become as outstanding as I was in our past life. I swear I'll make it up to you. My vision blurred as tears spilled uncontrollably down my cheeks. It wasn't tenderness I felt. Each of Jiang Qing's desperate pleas painfully resurrected the agonizing memories of my past life. In his previous life, Jiang Qing returned from studying abroad and immediately joined Beijing's largest hospital. With a future full of promise, I had resolved to walk out of his life, only for him to propose to me completely out of the blue. The proposal ceremony was so grand it practically became the talk of the entire small town. Amidst a sea of roses, Jiang Qing knelt on one knee holding a bouquet, presenting a dazzling diamond ring to me as the crowd cheered. Qing, we've grown up together and know each other better than anyone. All these years you've cared for me with such devotion. I'm deeply moved and grateful. Marry me, and let me take care of you for the rest of our lives. Okay, for secure document watermarking, choose Xiao Hu Bot, reliable, stable, and hassle-free. No output as the provided text is empty or contains only a non-printing character. Back then, I wasn't even Jiang Cheng's girlfriend yet. With an overbearing manner, he skipped the courtship entirely and proposed to me outright. Something felt off, and I instinctively wanted to refuse, but amid the cheers from family and friends, I dazedly let Jiang Cheng slip the ring onto my finger. When I later tried to return the ring, my parents absolutely tore into me. Ching, don't be so ungrateful for your good fortune. With Jiang Cheng's current status, he could have any woman he wants. The only reason he chose you is because of your childhood bond. If you can't appreciate this, don't bother coming home. Can't really blame my parents for thinking that way. All these years, no matter how Jiang Cheng humiliated me in private, he never showed the slightest hint of it around family or friends. Every holiday, he'd even ask about my travel plans and make the trip home with me. Jiang Cheng is a caring and successful man, and his parents have treated me like their own daughter since childhood. They would never mistreat me. It's the kind of in-laws you'd be hard-pressed to find even with a lantern. When reflecting on the past, Jiang Cheng simply called it youthful ignorance and vowed to spend the rest of his life making it up to me. Caught between societal pressure and his sweet promises, I ended up marrying him in a daze. I thought my hardships were finally over, only to realize marriage marked the beginning of my nightmare. After the wedding, we returned to Beijing together. That very night, Jiang Cheng packed his belongings and moved into the hospital dormitory. When I asked why he wouldn't stay at home, he just stared at me coldly and sneered with biting sarcasm. Su Ching, obviously because the sight of you makes me sick. His words struck me like a thunderbolt, bringing instant tears to my eyes. I stared at him in disbelief. If you've never let go of your hatred, why did you marry me? Of course I'll torment you every single day. Jiang Cheng's eyes flickered between disgust and triumph, his usually handsome face now twisted like a malevolent demon. I'll treat you well in front of everyone, make them all believe you're blessed to marry me, but that's just for show. Behind closed doors, you'll be left alone to endure this living widowhood. With those words, Jiang Cheng slammed the door behind him. I collapsed onto the sofa, utterly drained, sobbing uncontrollably as if every ounce of strength had been sucked from me. Jiang Cheng lived up to his word. In public, he played the perfect doting husband, treating my parents with exceptional care, but behind closed doors, he subjected me to endless humiliation and icy indifference, never once fulfilling his duties as a husband. Tormented by this extreme duality, I repeatedly asked for a divorce, only for Jiang Cheng to put on a pitiful, wounded act, publicly apologizing and claiming he'd failed me. People naturally admire strength. And coupled with Jiang Cheng's convincing performance, everyone thought I was being unreasonable and throwing tantrums. Even my doting parents scolded me. After enduring daily psychological torment, I developed severe depression and ultimately jumped from a high-rise building. Consumed by grief, Jiang Cheng repeatedly tried to follow me in death but was stopped each time by loved ones. Everyone praised Dr. Jiang as a man of noble character, a once-in-a-century gentleman. How laughable, even my death became a prop for his performance. Riding on that manufactured reputation, he went on to marry some noble woman from the capital who'd been pining after him. Now they're living their perfect little love story. Why should I forgive such a despicable man? My fists clenched so tightly that hatred seemed to choke the very air from my lungs. Only when the sting of my nails digging into flesh shot through my skull did I snap back to reality. See a doctor if you're hallucinating, I said coldly. I'm not a physician. I'd rather Jiang Cheng believe he's mentally ill than discover those fleeting scenes in his mind are real. For the arrogant, physical imperfections drive him to madness. I'll make him endure daily torment, just like my past self, trapped in endless suffering with no escape. To stop Jiang Cheng's harassment, I went straight to his parents. Somehow his parents managed to take him home that very day, in the blink of an eye. Half the semester had passed. Over those 6 months, several boys confessed their feelings to me. Some were real catches with both good looks and top grades, but after what happened with Jiang Cheng, I developed this aversion to all men and turned them down without hesitation. Maybe I'll fall in love again someday, but definitely not now. I still occasionally hear about Jiang Cheng and Lin Xiaoxiao from classmates. After weathering the initial dark period of silent endurance and the tense phase of explosive conflicts, their emotions gradually mellowed, miraculously reconciling in the end. After their reconciliation, they focused on studies for a while, but the peace didn't last. Lin Xiaoxiao soon became obsessed with live streaming, watching all those live streamers effortlessly making money by singing and dancing online. Lin Xiaoxiao realized even if she got into college, she'd just end up as another corporate drone, so she decided to ditch retaking exams and focus on becoming an internet streamer. Jiang Cheng started skipping classes regularly to help Lin Xiaoxiao manage her video channel, but monetizing their live streams proved much harder than expected. After exhausting the 30 yuan Jiangqing had stolen from home for marketing. Their efforts still showed no results when Jiangqing tried sneaking home to steal more money for promotion. His parents caught him red-handed and discovered he hadn't been attending school for ages. Mrs. Jiang, who had just begun recovering, was so enraged that she ended up hospitalized again. With the Jiang household in complete chaos, they weren't about to let Lin Xiaoxiao off the hook either. Furious, Mr. Jiang stormed to Lin Xiaoxiao's home, berating her and demanding compensation from her parents, threatening to report her for instigating theft if they refused. The Lin family, already struggling financially, refused to pay and instead accused Jiangqing of leading Xiaoxiao astray, sparking a violent brawl between the two families. In the chaos, Lin Xiaoxiao was knocked to the ground and started bleeding. A hospital checkup revealed she was already over a month pregnant. This only made Lin Xiaoxiao's parents more furious. They demanded Jiangqing take responsibility, threatening this wouldn't end otherwise, and so the two ended up hastily married in this muddled way. But their marriage marked not the start of marital bliss, but of utter chaos. During her pregnancy, Lin Xiaoxiao became increasingly irritable and threw tantrums constantly. During one heated argument, Jiangqing accidentally pushed her, causing her to miscarry. When I heard the news, I couldn't help but find it bitterly ironic. In their past life, after numerous hardships, Jiangqing finally tracked down Lin Xiaoxiao, only to discover she'd already married a local rich kid from her college town. That spoiled heir only saw Lin as a passing fancy. He married her because she seemed easy to control and wouldn't interfere with his partying lifestyle. After she bore him 2 daughters but failed to produce a son, he subjected her to endless humiliation. When Jiangqing found Lin Xiaoxiao, he doted on her endlessly, but Lin, unwilling to divorce her wealthy husband and coveting his fortune, refused to leave empty-handed. Their affair continued in secret. I still remember during my worst illness, Lin Xiaoxiao stood before me with her swollen belly, proudly declaring Jiangqing fathered her child. She waited only for my death to have the child recognized as his legitimate heir. That's when I learned they'd been together all along. Even Jiangqing's scheme to marry and torment me was concocted with Lin Xiaoxiao's collaboration. I never came between them. It was Lin Xiaoxiao's insatiable greed that demanded more, while I became the unfortunate casualty of her selfishness. This chaotic life of hers is exactly what she deserves. Rumors remained rumors until I returned home for New Year and met Jiangqing. Then I truly understood what seeing is believing means. Unshaven and hollow-eyed, his down jacket stained with a large blotch, the barely 20-year-old already had a slight hunch to his back. Had I not seen his still dashing demeanor in his 30s in my past life, I'd have sworn he was born a hopeless loser. He threw away his own bright future, got exactly what he deserved. Jiangqing bombarded me with calls after our last meeting, all left unanswered. The bone-deep hatred from my past life courses through my veins. One more encounter with him, and I might just snap, but he's not worth it. My wonderful life shouldn't be ruined by a despicable scumbag. Jiangqing clearly didn't expect to bump into me so abruptly in the stairwell, freezing momentarily. Truth be told, these past 6 months I've been thriving, cultivating my spirit and refining my style, my current radiance eclipsing Jiangqing's pathetic state by miles. The next instant, he charged down the steps in agitation, using his height to loom over me with a condescending glare. Qing, you must be thrilled to see me suffering like this, aren't you? Jiangqing has always been like this, convinced that every misfortune in his life is someone else's fault. I should have completely disregarded myself and told his parents he'd submit blank college applications, letting him hate me guilt-free while I spend a lifetime atoning for it. I took a silent step back, nauseated just sharing the same air with this despicable man. I've told you before, you're just a stranger who means nothing to me. Whether you're doing well or not is your own business. It has nothing to do with me. Even if he's struggling, even if he dropped dead right in front of me, I wouldn't feel a thing. Not setting off firecrackers at his funeral is the last shred of my decency. You weren't like this before. You used to care about me. You'd always encourage me to better myself. My cold demeanor struck a nerve with Jiangqing, sending him into an emotional frenzy. Qing, please don't be like this. Can't you go back to how you were before? I know you're jealous of Lin Xiaoxiao, but I swear I'll cut all ties with her from now on. You have to believe me. Cut all ties. So much for your precious moonlight. Jiangqing, a real man owns up to his responsibilities. Had you treated Lin Xiaoxiao decently, I might have actually respected you. But now, you just make me sick. Disgusted, I turned away with my suitcase to climb the steps, only to be violently blocked by an agitated Jiangqing. His eyes burned with malice. Qing. When did you become so vicious? Vicious, when it comes to cruelty, I'm not even a fraction as vicious as he is. Had he known nothing, it might have been forgivable. After all, It was my meddling that prevented him from repeating the school year with Lin Xiaoxiao. Regardless of my intentions, the fault lies with me. But that conversation before leaving for Beijing made it crystal clear. Jiangqing knew everything. He just wanted to pin the blame on me, exploiting my guilt. He demanded everything from me and subjected me to endless torment. The sarcastic smirk on my face was so blatant that even Jiangqing couldn't pretend not to see it. He gripped my wrist with such force that just as I struggled in vain and was about to call for my parents, the security door across the hallway swung open first. Though I knew Lin Xiaoxiao had been through so much turmoil and a miscarriage, I still froze when she suddenly appeared before me, looking far worse than I'd imagined. In just half a year, she'd completely lost that radiant, vivacious charm. The sparkling girl she once was had vanished. Her disheveled hair framed a face marred by rough skin, blemishes, and acne everywhere, with nasolabial folds deeper than ever before. At first glance, she could easily pass for a woman in her 40s. This time she'd actually learned her lesson. She knew exactly who to blame and immediately turned her fury toward Jiangqing. Jiangqing, you make me sick. Wasn't it you who called Su Qingqing dull and boring, that she nags all day, worse than your mother, that you've been disgusted by her for years, and now you're suddenly falling over yourself to please her? What nonsense. When have I ever disliked Qingqing? Jiangqing shook his head frantically, his disgust for Lin Xiaoxiao reaching its peak. Look at yourself, this deranged mess. You're absolutely insane. Yes, I am insane, driven mad by you, past caring about dignity. Lin Xiaoxiao lunged forward and slapped Jiangqing hard across the face. You did this to me. You'll never shake me off. Not in this lifetime, you bitch. Before they could finish speaking, the two were at each other's throats again. Jiangqing has always been despicable, so I'm not surprised to hear such words from him, but I'd rather not comment further. There's nothing left to say between him and me. Just then, my parents heard the commotion and opened the door to welcome me home. Stepping through the front door, I finally felt a wave of relief. Looking up at my parents, I said, Mom, Dad, let's move out. I never want to see those rabid dogs again, not even by chance. My parents exchanged glances before Dad chuckled. We've talked it over. You'll obviously stay in Beijing after graduation. Selling this place plus our savings should cover the down payment for a home there. Seeing how thoroughly they'd planned for my future, my eyes welled up. With a choked voice, I whispered, thank you, Mom and Dad. At last, my family and I can finally live in peace and enjoy our reunion. During the New Year holidays, I stayed home the whole time. Jiangqing came by several times, but my parents turned him away each time. The couple across the hall kept having explosive fights. Jiangqing and Lin Xiaoxiao, who used to be inseparable lovebirds, had become each other's worst nightmare. The old apartment's thin walls made their constant bickering unbearable. After days of this, I couldn't take it anymore and took my parents on a trip. Can't beat them, then avoid them, let them fight like dogs. Jiangqing only married Lin Xiaoxiao because of the child. They held a wedding ceremony but never registered their marriage, so when things fell apart, they simply went their separate ways. After several months, Jiangqing returned to the cram school to resume his studies. Lin Xiaoxiao bounced back to her usual energetic self, flaunting her livestream earnings screenshot with a taunt. So what if you got into college, Su Qingqing? Your future salary won't even match the spare change from my earnings. I took one look at her suggestive livestream content and immediately hit the report button. Maintaining a wholesome online environment is everyone's responsibility. We can't let the younger generation be corrupted. With so many reports flooding in about her risque content, Lin Xiaoxiao's newly established account got banned almost instantly. Rumor has it she even spent a few days in detention before her parents forcibly enrolled her in a cram school. These two were truly destined to be entangled with each other. Unfortunately, with their studies neglected for so long and both suffering severe physical and mental trauma, they barely scraped past 500 points on the exams, just enough to meet the minimum threshold for Tier 1 universities. Though only a year had passed since last year's glory, to Jiangqing it felt like a lifetime ago. Those memories of being the center of attention would occasionally flash through his mind, now as distant and fleeting as wisps of cloud. On the day the exam results came out, Mrs. Jiang reportedly had another heart attack from rage, sobbing while cursing Lin Xiaoxiao as a jinx who ruined her son's future. See, even the kindest parents will blame someone else's daughter for corrupting their precious boy, never bothering to examine what a disgrace their own son really is. While the Jiang household descended into chaos again, my parents quietly sold our old family home without a hitch, after Jiangqing kept pestering my parents to convince me to forgive him. They'd had enough. Without alerting anyone, they sold the house and boarded a flight to Beijing the same night with the money. Someone in our high school group chat mentioned that Lin Xiaoxiao ended up choosing an unremarkable local college, while Jiangqing didn't accompany her, instead opting to retake the college entrance exams yet again. He bombarded me with messages, apologizing profusely and swearing he'd test into my university, begging me to wait for him. The heart always yearns for what it can't have, but one wrong move leads to another. Nobody waits around forever, least of all for someone who was your nemesis in a past life. I smiled. During my junior year, I earned a prestigious study abroad opportunity in the U.S. as an exchange student, bringing me one step closer to my dreams. After 2 grueling years of retaking classes, Jiangqing sat for the college entrance exams once again. The night before the exams, Jiangqing called me from someone else's phone, pleading pitifully, "Qingqing, I'll get into your university, just wait for me." I said nothing and hung up without hesitation. Pre-exam emotions are crucial. The more I ignored him, the more agitated and unstable his mindset became. Come to me for emotional comfort, in your dreams. As it turned out, Jiangqing had exhausted all his luck during his first college entrance exam, even after giving his all during the retake year. He still underperformed on the very first subject. That noon, I reposted an article about Gaokao cheating techniques to my alt account's social feed with the caption, "Cheating methods are getting alarmingly sophisticated these days, impossible to guard against them all." Jiangqing secretly added my alternate account as a classmate, thinking I wouldn't notice. Little did he know I was fully aware of everything. That message was deliberately posted for him to see. The shock of failing the exam pushed Jiangqing to the edge. Inspired by my social media post, he actually resorted to buying answers online and got caught red-handed by the proctor. Jiangqing's cheating was recorded in his permanent file, banning him from college entrance exams for 3 years, a stain that would follow him for life. When Jiangqing learned the verdict, he didn't make a scene, just locked himself alone in his room. A few days later, I received a message, "Qingqing, everything I'm going through now is karma, isn't it?" I wonder how much he remembers from his past life, whether he can still see himself at the peak of success, radiating confidence and ambition. If he can, the stark contrast would be enough to torment him for the rest of his life. But none of this concerns me anymore. I'm about to study abroad. On my departure day, both Mom and Dad saw me off at the airport, reminding me to take good care of myself overseas. Just submit it first. You can always delete your application at the last minute if you change your mind. As past me's family was bidding tearful farewells, the cries of infants and toddlers suddenly echoed from nearby. Instinctively turning around, I saw a nouveau riche-looking man viciously slap his wife across the face, roaring, "Useless woman, all you've given me are worthless daughters, shut them up now or I'll throw them all out." The beaten woman dared not make a sound, only patting the infant in her arms repeatedly. A sobbing toddler of about 2 or 3 kept tugging at her skirt, crying "Mama." Upon closer look, her slightly swollen belly revealed she was carrying yet another child. That figure, that presence, it finally dawned on me. The woman before me was Lin Xiaoxiao, whom I hadn't seen in years. In my past life, she'd flaunted her pregnant belly before me just like this. Though in this lifetime, I wonder whose child it is, my mind swirling with thoughts. Mother tugged at my sleeve. "Qingqing, it's time to go." I nodded, turned to bid farewell to my parents, and walked toward the security checkpoint nearby. The past no longer matters. What truly counts is that my life is now filled with boundless promise.